Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
What's up, everybody? Okay, this was a really good episode. Let me turn this off. This was a really good episode tonight. It gave me everything that I needed from Beverly Hills. I'm still getting used to having a theme song, y'all. I'm still getting used to it. But life is bright. Okay. This was a lot. This was definitely a lot. It's like a gnat or something. Okay, so episode. We're gonna start in this gnat that's trying to get my Casamigos. It's annoying. Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Let me go get a napkin. Sorry, y'all. It happens a lot to me. The perfume that the cologne that I wear kind of has a sweet scent to it, I guess. So I'm always attracting like bees and stuff. Anyway. What happened to the bounce intro? That's it. That's the same intro, y'all.
Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense.
Now, if you're not bouncing, that's on you.
Let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say.
Where's your head tonight?
Tell me about the things of your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between.
I don't even know. After I got off that live that I did with you guys last night with the Wendy Williams stuff, I fell asleep in the bathtub. Yo, I'm tired.
Surfer.
But I'm here. We're here. I'm back in the game. Let me just get a drink. I'm back in the game, y'all. I'm back in the game. Okay. So as always, we got to start off with it sounds dangerous. Yeah, it probably is dangerous, but I knocked out. I don't know what else to say. So I did that short video, you guys. If you haven't checked it out, it was about the Dorit and Mauricio stuff that was going on. Do I necessarily believe they're having an affair? Absolutely not. But it was funny, so I went ahead and did a video. Check that out. And then it was Dorit against Dana Wilkie. Super fun video. It's up there for you guys. So blind item. Oh, that's not the blind item. Where is the blind item? I have it here somewhere. I guess I'll get to the blind item later. Okay, here we go. So this dude, he's a TikToker. Apparently somebody sent this in anonymous. It sounds like something Lisa Rinna would do, but they're calling Sutton alcoholic. It says, "Hello, anonymous, please. I'm writing to you because I have some tea on Miss Strack. Apparently there's been talks that the ladies on Beverly Hills have wanted to call out Sutton's drinking problem. She drinks early and also keeps vodka and grapefruit juice on her at all times. The ladies tried bringing it up on camera, but it's clearly not airing. This is why multiple ladies have told Garcelle Sutton is a liability. Pay attention to tonight's episode as there will be something there." Y'all, I don't bit more believe this. This sounds like something Rinna would do. It sounds like something Erica Jane would plant. Is Sutton kind of like weird and quirky? Yes. Do I think she has a drinking problem? No. I actually don't necessarily think Erica has a drinking problem, to be honest with you. But moving on. Do I think she should be mixing liquor with her medicine? Absolutely not. But, moving on. I don't know if you guys saw this, but my girl, Kenya Moore, got on a commercial for DirecTV with this lady, with Teresa and Kyle. Kenya didn't have too many parts, but I'm looking at this picture like maybe Kenya needs a football player because this looks like a good, happy couple. Um, there was something else that I wanted to share with you guys. Also, I hope you checked out my Wendy Williams video. She got aired out by her whole production team and staff. I actually read the entire article on live. Check that out from yesterday. That one was pretty good. I don't think anybody else actually read the whole article. I haven't seen it yet. I should say I haven't seen anybody else actually reading the article. Let's see. This was pretty nasty. So Candace was talking about going to a fertility doctor, and somebody responded, "I hope you never conceive, actually. The rude thing you said to Mia about her mom. You're a disgusting person. God will never bless you with a tiny, tiny human." Now, Yellow Fairy, first off, I've never heard of a fairy in the Bible. Secondly, I don't know if you know God talking like that. God will never bless you. Well, don't you think that talking to this woman that nasty is the same thing? Pot meet kettle. I'm just saying. It sounds like the same thing to me, y'all. It sounds like the same thing to me. Let's see. Oh, this was the blind item. Rumor has it that these two aren't being asked back. If I think Rena has ran her course. So if Rena is not back, I'm okay with that, to be honest with you guys. I think that Rena was pretty vivacious at the beginning when she was asking if people were doing coke in bathrooms and stuff like that. But since then, she has really come down. I'm just not interested in anything else she has to do. And Diana never never was, never will be, and let's just leave that at that. I would be happy if this blind item came true. Lastly, why they do something like this? Everybody was so photoshopped in this picture. I want you guys to pay attention to Sutton's leg. That's not natural. Y'all, that's not natural. Your leg should not look like this. Your girl Rena has been getting some pretty bad press, you guys. Fans roast Lena as next level evil. I totally believe it. I'm over her. Also, you guys, check out my story I did on Should Kyle Be Worried with the Dana Wilkie story. The thumbnail looks like this. If you haven't already seen it, check it out. Y'all asked for shorter content, so I'm giving you guys shorter content. Okay, on to the episode. The episode was good. The episode was pretty good. We're starting off with Rena crying. Y'all, I don't bit more believe this. I do not in any way, shape, or form believe that Rena was really actually having this moment. I swear to you, I do not believe that. Everything about this came off as contrived. Erica helping her, Diana also. She didn't need all this. Like, moving on. I don't believe Rena. I don't like Rena. And I think that Rena actually serves no purpose. The guys are talking, and it just kind of reminded me these dudes will never be the dudes from Jersey. They're not that interesting. PK then got a new leather shirt and some new teeth, and he thinks he's Mauricio. Like, low key, he really does. He's been through multiple bankruptcies. He's broke, and yet he's talking about he's going to be the new real estate emperor. I guess funny enough, like, whatever. Um, Now we're back at the dinner table. We're back at the scene, and basically, Garcelle dismisses Britt and Sydney from the charity. But Britt and Sydney, y'all, when I saw this, I fell out. Britt and Sydney were here for all of it. They were probably mad that they made them leave the table so that they could finish with the gossip. Britt and Sydney were Britt and Cindy Britt and Sydney wanted to stay. That was the most excitement they have ever seen in their life. They wanted to stay. They didn't care if people were reading their chair. Britt and Sydney were here for all of it. Exactly. Garcelle was like, y'all can go. They were like, nah, we're staying. Um we get back to the meat and potatoes of the scene. Um Basically, Crystal wants to talk about her eating issues. She admits to having been at therapy since the age of 13. I'm going to skip, guys. This is important, so I'm skipping a little bit. We're going to go towards the end of the video. When she was talking to her husband later, he actually said maybe it's time to actually seek treatment. So I have been telling you guys this over and over again. I do not believe the things that Crystal says out of her mouth. And I do feel like that what her husband said later in the scene when they were with Kathy definitely was in stark contrast to what she's telling the girls now. You've been in treatment for this since 13, but your husband said it's finally time to get some help. So Crystal, she's ticking down. I already gave you my theory on her as to why she behaves like this. Crystal is definitely ticking down, guys. I do not believe anything that comes out of her mouth at this point. And also, my heart goes out to anybody with an eating disorder. It's weird that you confide so much in these women who you feel aren't a safe space. It's all in like contradiction, guys. We get back to another scene where Garcelle is playing producer. And she says, anything else we need to clean up? Between Garcelle and Kyle, I don't know who needs executive producer credit. I think they said Kyle is executive producer on this at this point, but I don't know. Both of them need some executive producer credits because Garcelle will produce this show as a cast member. Y'all remember last week when she was telling Sutton to go talk to Erica and pushing that conversation, and Erica shut it down. So Garcelle is definitely producing the show. We're going back to the liabilities conversation. Now, at this point, I do feel like Sutton is, I wouldn't say reaching. I think that it's valid for her to be angry, but we don't have to talk about this in every scene. Like, I don't think somebody that you don't like calling you a liability is big enough for you to bring it up all the time. Like, low-key, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. I mean, I know they're shooting a show, but there's a whole bunch of other things you can come at Erica for. This is getting a little tired, Sutton. Sutton gets questioned from Erica's prosecutors. Now, if you are going on national TV and saying that you have information about an active case, it would only make sense for the FBI or whoever was investigating this, or the attorneys or the prosecutors or whoever, because Erica's being sued by so many people, it would only make sense for them to go ahead and reach out to Sutton since you have so much information. But I do not agree with Erica. Erica was saying she tried to tell you. That makes absolutely no sense. What she was talking about when they flash back to this scene where she's going, that's a really ugly outfit that Sutton's wearing. I can't get past it. When we go back to the scene, basically Erica was alluding that she would sue Sutton. Nothing in what she said gave me the impression that she was saying that Sutton would be that the prosecutors would reach out to Sutton. Nothing that she said gave that. Excuse me. Do I think that Sutton should have been quiet about it? No. Sutton going after Erica was the best part of the show. So I'm here for everything that Sutton did. I only wish that Sutton had more of like a clapback. So when she was talking about it, I wish that Sutton had said something like, well, Erica, you don't know what it feels like to actually pay for attorneys because you don't have the money to do so. I do. Or something to that effect. If she would have called Erica broke in that moment, I would have been absolutely here for everything that Sutton was saying. Erica, I can afford an attorney. Can you um basically it wasn't necessarily smart for Sutton to actually mention that she knew some stuff about why Tom's partner left. But again, Garcelle comes to her defense, rightfully so. It's her friend, and she's like, everybody was saying stuff about this. Everybody was saying stuff about this. So why is it just that Sutton is the issue? Um, so what's weird is that Diana interjects. There was really no purpose for her to interject. The conversation was not about her at all, nor was it really about Garcelle, which is why I think that Rinna and Erica have put a battery in this woman's back. She's now an operative for their little crew. Um, it just didn't make any sense. She says that Garcelle is guarded, and Garcelle is not here for any of it. Like Garcelle sees what's happening. She's like, "What do you want to know about me, Diana?" But in her talking head, she's like, "Google me." I don't think that Diana really had anything to say. I think that the heat was just getting a little too high for Erica, and as her friend, she interjected stupidly. Or maybe she was just looking for a moment, like Kyle and Rinna do the whole episode. The point is, nothing that she had to say was remotely related to the topic at hand. It made as much sense as her husband, her fiance, her relationship with her fiance. Um, Garcelle at this point, I can kind of see is actually just getting tired of these women, and she's starting to see, and she's onto them. Rinna then interjects and asks Garcelle if she actually hears Diana. Do you hear Diana? Do you actually hear what she's saying? And Garcelle was looking like, bitch, I'm sitting across from the table from her. Of course I can hear what she's saying. But Garcelle knows what Rinna is doing. They are teaming up on this woman, and she is going back at them in real time, and I'm here for it. This is the Garcelle I have been waiting for. She's still going to be classy, but she's given the I see you. We see each other in this moment, and it was perfect. And it made Rinna look stupid, which again is not hard to do. The scene pretty much dies down. We move on to Crystal and her husband. Um, I like Crystal and her husband, but like I told you earlier, he basically called her out because she said that she has seen somebody for her disorder, and he has said it's time for you to finally go see somebody. So to me, I think this woman was lying. This scene, the only reason I mention it is because Kathy Hilton was hilarious in this scene. She goes to people's house and she makes you work. You work for her now. It doesn't matter how rich you are. You're not rich enough not to be one of Kathy Hilton's workers. So this scene was hilarious. Kathy was the laughing track through the entire episode. The entire episode. It was Kathy's. No lie. Mm, we move on. Uh we get to Kyle. Again, I don't care about Kyle or her family. The one thing that I did care about is those crabs that she had. Y'all, I share with you on my Instagram, which is scrolling right now. I love food and I love seafood. So I'm always getting like crawfish, crabs, crab boils, anything that I can, shrimp, anything that I can. Subscribe to my Instagram, y'all. It's worth it. Mims, what are you drinking? Okay, y'all. So what had happened was I ran out of margarita mix, so I just used some Simply Lemonade. And I think this is Patron today. Um, why is Kathy in a ruffled tablecloth? I don't know. I think when you reach that 4, 5, 6, 700 million level, you really don't care what you wear. Like at this point, Kathy is just like whatever. Um, Kyle, blah 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 blah. We get to a scene with Erica meeting up with Rinna to discuss basically Sutton. Like Sutton is the star of this show, y'all. This is Sutton's show. No lie. This show is now Sutton's. Everything they talk about is Sutton. Sutton, 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 Sutton. They hate her so much, but without her, what would they be talking about? Um, I thought this was funny though. Rena is saying that People Magazine did a where is it? She said that People Magazine. Hold on, blah blah blah. Oh, I skipped a lot. Oh, Rena says that her and Harry did a uh, episode, the gay beard issue of People Magazine, and it just reminded me of this because Kelly Dodd said that he was gay, so Lisa Rinna reposted this picture, and I'm thinking, you're a good company. There were a lot of beards on this show. There was actually a whole list of beards on the Housewives. um, again, I don't really care so much about what Erica and Renner say because I think that it's contrived. Um, Rinna does acknowledge that she is being horrible to Sutton, but I don't know. What I don't think that these women were prepared for, in all honesty, was they were accustomed to having one issue per season. Pantygate, Puppygate. It's always been one main issue. They always choose one villain and they always go after it. Right now, there's a lot of pans in the fire. So you can have fights with Sutton and then fights with Sutton and Lisa, and fights with Sutton and Erica, and fights with Sutton and Diana. Then you can move on to Garcelle fighting with Erica or Garcelle fighting with Kyle. These women aren't able to manipulate the cast in the way that they used to, and that's a problem for them. Because without it, they lose control and they stop being the fan favorites. Garcelle and Sutton are the fan favorites now, hands down, and they can't take it and they don't know how to combat that. Because everything that they throw at these women is like Teflon. The fans still love them more. Oh, blah 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 blah. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like Erica at all. And I don't hate Ren. I don't hate anybody. But I definitely don't like them. Producer Kyle meets up with Sutton again, and she's always pushing Sutton into a storyline. She is consistently pushing this woman into a storyline. Um, Kyle is mad that Kyle actually mentioned she's mad that people are mad that she mentions things. Yes, Kyle, because not only can the viewers see that you are producing the show, the audience does. There's never anything of any value about Kyle since the Mauricio cheating rumors are over. Her sister Kim is off the show. Kyle has coasted along, and the producers love her because she produces the show. She'll move a storyline forward. Is it worth it, Kyle? Nobody likes you. You're not a fan favorite. You get commercials and stuff like that because the network pushes you. But we, the people, don't like you. Just saying. Sutton and her, this was actually pretty funny. Sutton's going on a blind date. Kyle's basically saying you look too rich. You need to look poor when you go on the dates. And Sutton literally says, this is poor. This was hilarious because poor for Sutton is a diamond encrusted Cartier watch and diamond pearl necklaces and diamond rings and a $7,000 or $8,000 purse. That's poor for Sutton. I like Sutton. I really like Sutton. So Kyle is trying to say that, what she should be doing. And Sutton's like, when was the last time you were on a blind date? And so she was like in the 90s. So y'all know I had to do this. This was Kyle in the 90s. This is Kyle when she went on that blind date. She low-key looks like Kylie Jenner before all the work. This was Mauricio on that blind date. Match made in heaven. What's up? Oh, I got a super chat. Thank you, Thado. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. I don't know. Do y'all still want me playing the song when y'all give super chats? You just let me know. But yeah, doesn't Mauricio look creepy? What's up, 2%? But Kyle is the real star of this relationship. Okay. Sorry. Y'all know, as I'm watching the episode, I'm thinking of all this stuff. Y'all, blah, 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 blah. We move on. There was a cute little scene with Dorit's daughter, but I really don't like Dorit, so we're not going to go over that. We now get to the episode. We get to the meat and potatoes of the episode. We're at the party. Everybody looked nice enough. I don't think anybody just looked. They all look nice enough. Let me just say that they look beautiful. But that's not why we're here. This made the whole episode worthwhile. The whole episode worthwhile. Blah blah blah. Oh wait, there was a scene that before I don't have a picture of this. We get to see the real Rinna. So Rinna acts like she's so down to earth, but at this basic party that she threw with absolutely nobody there but the cast, for her Rinna beauty that nobody's buying, the girls who worked there, who weren't the bartenders, were serving her a drink. And Rinna has a diva moment. I need real lemons. I need this. Are you bartenders? And it's like, why are you yelling at these two girls? They already told you they weren't bartenders. Get your ass back there and make the drink yourself. It's not like you're paying for this party. I can guarantee you that what has happened, because Rinna is cheap, that partner of hers pays for everything, and Rinna just acts as the face of it so that Rinna can use this show to sell that non-hypoallergenic stuff, those products to the people. I don't bit more believe that Rinna paid for this party. So when she was doing this diva moment, I was thinking it really should be your friend who's having a moment and she's not. Your friend slash investor. Like whatever. The girls arrive. Like I said, everybody looked great. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we're talking about Studio 54. And basically, Garcelle says that she was at Studio 54 and she was offered some Diet Coke. And when she went to go snort it, she messed it up. Now, I don't believe that. I do not believe that she knocked the pan off the table. Just me. Now, either she told the story to sound more interesting and lied at the end, or she literally partook in the festivities like Dorit and PK were doing on her first season. I believe the latter. Blah, blah, blah. Kyle invites all the girls to Aspen. It's the cash trip. I told you guys earlier she sold her Aspen house recently for I think like $8 or $9 million. Kyle and Mauricio have an extensive real estate portfolio, to be honest with you. They have an extensive real estate portfolio. When you steal that much money from those African governments, that's the kind of stuff you can buy. Allegedly. That was nice enough. No, this was funny. When she invites them to the trip, Garcelle is just basically like, I'll stay in the hotel. And Diana says the same thing. And I would do the same thing. I think that when they went to Palm Springs, the girls are trying to include Garcelle to make her feel welcome. But I think at this point, Garcelle realizes these hoes ain't her friend. And they're never going to be her friend. And she has real friendship with Sutton, and that's who she's sticking with. So I guarantee you, it was awkward. Kyle didn't even need to say, my house is small and I won't invite you. Kyle literally could have just said, some people will be staying in my house. Some people will be staying at this much nicer home. and left it at that. It's bad for, it's not proper etiquette to basically invite somebody to something and then disinvite them or tell them you guys are going to be over there. Like, whatever, Kyle. Um, Kathy says that Rick is old fashioned Catholic. And I was thinking, y'all, we're going to read this book. I swear to you, we're going to be reading this book. And nothing about who Kathy Hilton is says, I'm going to marry an old fashioned Catholic man from the gigolo who taught her how to get down. So, we'll leave that at that. But we will be reading the book. I'm going to find some time. Hopefully, we can start it next week. But we're going to read this book. Or at least we're going to read the good parts where Kathy Hilton and Kyle and them get exposed. Blah, blah, blah. Kathy did say that Rick said that one wrong move could get you canceled. And the first thing I thought about was that's foreshadowing, y'all, because that's what Brenna and Erica are about to do to her in like the next episode. So it's really weird that she said that. And I'm pretty sure if the producers are worth their weight in gold, they're going to fast back to that. Producer Kyle then begins to question the group. Where is it? She sits everybody down or whatever. And she wants to talk about what went on at the Reach charity event where we didn't see any charity taking place. And Kathy, y'all, Kathy MFing Hilton. Love this woman. She sits there and she's like at the homeless toothless charity event. And everybody like busts out laughing. Garcelle, Sutton, even Diana, they're all laughing at this because it's funny. It's a horrible name. It's an absolute horrible name, but it was hilarious that Kathy was the one. Kathy is the laugh track. I'm just gonna say Kathy is the laugh track of this season. Kathy don't give an F. Kathy gives 0 Fs about any of these women, including Kyle. So everybody's laughing, and out of everybody laughing, Dorit chooses to go at Garcelle and say it's not funny. Meanwhile, I took this picture on purpose. The woman sitting next to her is laughing. So how is Dorit not seeing Diana laugh at this, but Garcelle is now the problem? I'm telling you guys, the Fox Force 5 or whatever those want to call each other are the absolute worst, and they are trying. Look at Erica's face. Now, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be Erica in about 20 years when she's broke and she can't get her veneers replaced. She's not going to have any teeth. This picture of Erica took me out. Y'all, I can't zoom in on it, but look at Erica's face in this pic. Kyle, okay, hold on. Blah, 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 we move on. I just thought it was funny. And I'm here for Garcelle standing up for herself. Erica makes a statement as if to say, oh, and then Kathy doubles back and says, I've worked with homeless, I've worked with the toothless. Funny AF, y'all. Like, hilarious the fact that they're having this exchange. You can hear Erica in the background saying, did you hear what she just said? That's not funny at all. Cut to 2 episodes ago when she's holding up a chicken wing to a woman with anorexia and bulimia saying, you can't eat this. So are you the right messenger to be telling somebody what's not funny about a charity when you have no empathy or concern for a person who's struggling with the eating disorder's feelings? Like, I really can't stand them. I cannot stand the Fox Force 5, whatever they're calling each other. I can't. We got producer Kyle is questioning Sutton because she is trying to set up the scene, and Kathy jumps in to say, are we going out tonight? Sorry. I got to learn to do Kathy's voice. Kathy's voice reminds me of not Bruce. Caitlyn. Kathy's voice reminds me of Caitlyn Jenner. Are we going, Kyle? Are we going out tonight? And then Kyle snaps at her because she feels like I'm shooting a scene and kind of like hurries Kathy away, which I thought was pretty rude. And that's probably why Kim and Kathy don't like her ass. That's probably the kind of stuff that she does all the time. Like we don't get to see, we see her kissing butt, but now she don't have to kiss Kathy's butt because Kathy's on the show. I bet you guys getting Kathy on the show is what got her that executive producer title. It wasn't on her work ethic. Um, we get to like we get to the meat and potatoes of this. The meat and potatoes is really the scene where Sutton and Rinna are going at each other, and Erica and Garcelle, or Erica shuts Garcelle down. We got it was too many fights. I couldn't keep up. So basically, Rinna tells Sutton that what she did was effing mean when she questioned, or when she said, made the comment that Erica has a lot of lawsuits. Rinna is not the messenger ever to say when somebody is being mean. Like, this woman should never say this kind of stuff. Um, and Sutton, she's a little clumsy with her words. Like, she's real clumsy with her words. She was over here saying that she was a baby horse. Y'all, what does that mean? What hold on, let me take this off. Let me y'all come here. Come here. What the F does a baby horse have to do with anything? Y'all, what did that mean? Like I'm trucking right along with you, Sutton, but you're saying stuff that doesn't make sense. And then we just had that blind item about you being an alcoholic. So what are we doing here, Sutton? Like, I didn't I didn't get it. Um Crystal used a word that I had not heard before. I wrote it down. It's gonna become part of my vocabulary. But basically she was trying to say, you're not like getting your point across. And Sutton shuts her down. Then we get Erica jumping in. Now, y'all, Erica, I'm thinking, stayed sober because she knew she was going to try to come after Garcelle. She makes this face and she says, while Sutton is speaking, and I'm supposed to be the drunk one. Now, y'all, you first off, you are. Secondly, she thought this was going to be her moment. She did not realize that the Haitian was going to come out of Garcelle, and Garcelle was going to tear into her in her classy Garcelle kind of way. Um, y'all, no, I don't know. For those of you guys who know who Mae West is, do y'all think that Erica's playing a character? Like, I really do think that Erica at this point is playing a character. She really thinks that she's Mae West. And it's starting to get on my nerves. You're not anybody special. You're not anybody that like, I don't get a sense of anything necessarily from Erica anymore. It was all cute when you were rich, but now that we know that you weren't really rich, I'm thinking that Erica literally put on an act. Everything that we saw from her was an act that Tom made her play to play the role of this rich woman. You still want to get all this money to do all these things. You're going to need to behave like Erica Girardi in certain situations. And that's what she did. This whole drunk lush, offering herself up to everybody, threesomes, I'm a dominatrix, all that. I think that's who Erica really is. I think Erica, who was at Shakers, was this woman that we're seeing now. And don't get me wrong, if somebody's offering you 20 million to do your career, you probably would fall in line. But just say that. Just say you were putting on an act, because you can't. Those two people are too stark of a contrast. Erica, who we saw very pulled up, and this woman who's a lush, it's not the same person. And I'm not like, it's too much. It's too much. Um, but yes, I think she's trying to be Mae West, and I don't like it. Let's see. Okay, what did I put? Poor Sutton. Um, Rinna is trying to use her grief as a scapegoat, y'all. Everything that comes out of her mouth that she says and does, it's because she's in grief. I don't buy it. And I'm actually kind of tired of it. Like, that is a really late, if you really think about it, it's extremely late to, oh, my mom died. I'm going to talk to you crazy. Oh, my mom died. I'm going to curse you out. Oh, my mom died. You got to let me do all this stuff. Nah, nah. You can get it like anybody else can get it. Um, now we get into the meat and potatoes, the fight scene between them. So after Erica makes that face at Garcelle, she goes to her and is basically like, well, you're calling me an alcoholic. And I think that Garcelle initially tried to keep it cute with her. Um, but Erica said, if I had a problem, you would be the last person to know. That's wrong for a couple reasons. First off, when she said it just like this. If these women, sorry, these women would be the first to know if I had a problem, and my friends would pull me aside. Problem one. Doesn't that sound like Kim at the Amsterdam table when Rena was accusing her of being under the influence? The first thing that Kim said was, "My friends and my sister would know if I had a problem. They're the ones that would come to me." And I'm like, Erica, you repeating this, and we all know that Kim did have a problem. So, not the best person to repeat. And sorry, y'all know me, I'm a little off. I saw her pointing this finger. I'm like, why are the Kyle sisters always pointing that finger? That will get you popped. Don't point your finger at me. That will get you popped and possibly slid, depending on the situation. And if I had a couple drinks, we'd probably be fighting. Don't point your finger at me. That's disrespectful. um, we cut to Garcelle, and Garcelle is basically saying she was worried. And she picks up on the fact that the Fox Force 5 has been in Erica's ear. So the shady producers cut to every time that Garcelle mentioned Erica drinking. She did it with Dorit, she did it with Kyle, and it's been consistent. What I will say is Erica being drunk 3 times, that does not make you an alcoholic. I kind of wish Garcelle would just say this. I don't like you. And anything that you do crazy, I'm gonna call you out on it. Period. And leave it at that. You don't have to be friends with this woman. There's not even anything that you can gain, Garcelle, from being friends with the likes of Erica. She's a pariah at this point. Like, what would I gain from being friends with you? Standing up for you makes me look stupid. It makes me look like I don't care about the victims. She is next episode. Yeah, we're gonna get into that because I was so proud of Garcelle in this episode. Um, and then Garcelle also says, you say all the time that we're not really friends. So Garcelle at this point is not for the BS. Garcelle at this point is not concerned with putting on any airs with Erica or any of the rest of these women. She got her day ones, she got her A1s, and that's just it. And if it's just Sutton and Cherie, it is. But Kathy seems to really be enamored with Garcelle. So that's the Richard sister you need to be cool with, not Kyle. You go where the money resides, Garcelle. Um, blah blah blah. And then the second part to that is you don't have to be close to somebody to see that they got a problem. We could see through the screen that Kim Richards and Brandy Glanville had some type of drinking or substance problem. You don't have to be somebody's friend. We could see on being Bobby Brown that Whitney and Bobby had a problem. When Bobby was talking about he manually goes in to clean out when Whitney is backed up. That's some crackers shit. That's some. Okay. Off topic. Sorry. Let's go back. But nobody, like, I don't think anybody needs to manually help somebody's constipation. That's disgusting. I loved being Bobby Brown. I absolutely loved it. This is when we get to the famous quote when Garcelle says, Erica, I don't have to make you look bad. You do that by yourself. That is a mic drop. Like, that was a mic drop. What I didn't like in that moment was this one. I think that Lisa Rinna sees that Kyle Richards is always a meme. So now she's going to begin making the same faces just so she can get camera time because they're not giving her camera time otherwise. Just my thoughts. I definitely do not think that what Garcelle did was worth that. These are two lowbrow Z-list actresses playing a part because they know that they have nothing else going on. Then again, Erica challenges Garcelle and she responds, you having a problem doesn't do anything to my life. Basically saying, I really don't give AF about you. I don't give it AF about anything going on with you. And if you want to ruin your life, go for it. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. I will say this. Garcelle and Sutton have reached a level of pettiness that feeds my soul. They do not let these hags get away with absolutely anything, and I'm here for it. They're fan favorites. If Garcelle or Sutton does not get to sit next to Andy at this reunion, I may not watch next season because there's no way that they don't deserve that spot. Kyle does not deserve that spot. I'd rather give it to Kathy, and she's and Kathy's not even around that much. I do not think that Dorit and the rest of these girls continuously saying, "Oh, I've known Erica for years." You did not know Erica. None of y'all knew Erica. Erica and Tom were the only people who knew the actual Erica and Tom. So for them to keep saying that, it irks my soul. If what we're seeing now is the real Erica, what y'all knew of her from these last few years was definitely not it. And I don't know if they really think that the audience is this stupid. Oh, we're so close, we're so friends. I believe that Mauricio and Dorit are close, but I don't think that the rest of them are as close. I don't think the rest of them are as close as they purport to be. What's up, Team Garcelle?
Hey, it's Mrs. D Green. I
I know
had
your
to,
voice, Mrs. D. Reed.
man. Oh my God. So I'm loving how Garcelle is easing into, what we all want to see from her. But I like the way she's doing it because, Mims, think about this, and I've been thinking about this hard as well.
Okay.
If Garcelle were to come as strong as we want and
Mm-hmm.
bring the heat as we are expecting her to, I have two words for you. Ebony Williams. We don't want that. Ebony Williams from Real Housewives of New York.
I
She
see what
has,
you're saying.
you see what I'm saying? She has to be strategic and govern herself accordingly with these group of women because of the simple fact. I mean, we all see it. And when you think about it, also, she's the first. It's her and Crystal. They've been on 2 seasons. They're the first people of
People of
color to
color.
survive 2 seasons, more than 2 seasons on this franchise. So she
Mm-hmm.
can't come in like super aggressive, right? It has to be in increments because remember, Rena was acting a like crazy mess, right? Nobody called her aggressive. Yet Garcelle was being aggressive towards who was it? Diane? I forgot, but I just thought that was so
Dorit.
funny. Yeah, I was like,
Dorit.
how's she gonna call her aggressive when you had Rena screaming at her across the table twice
Dorit
now?
yelled at her.
Yeah, it's
Dorit
like
yelled at her.
nobody called any of them aggressive. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's levels to it. Unfortunately, that's the way it's designed, but I support Garcelle's approach because I understand what it's like when you're in an environment with people that don't look like you. You're not going to be able to get away with a lot of the things that those people do. So I was here for it. I was like, yes, it's coming up in increments. You're working your way up. You do you, Garcelle. Team Garcelle all the way.
I would, Misty Green. Hey, Kai, I would challenge you only in this one thought process.
Yeah.
Garcelle is one of those women who she can mesh with anybody, right? I
Yeah.
think that Garcelle had the right job when she was on The Real. That
Mm.
whole interviewer, a talk show host, I think that's perfect for Garcelle.
Yeah.
I would think that Garcelle could have come harder sooner because they came at her. Like, and I think that she has enough people on the cast who would film with her. So let's say Kyle, Erica, Dorit, and Rena didn't want to film with her. She could still film with Crystal, Sutton, Kathy. And at that point, Kyle would have to film with her. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like I know that there are franchises that ice people out. To be honest with you, I think Ebony K. Williams is beautiful. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think she was right for that show. New York is one of those shows where they show that they're wearing diapers. They poop on the floor. They have
Yep.
sex with random men. And I think that Ebony was such a class act and so pulled up, even though she would throw out the B word, hey, B, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that was the right element for that audience. Because if we're seeing what Luann run around the city sleeping with everybody and they're letting us know that she's a squirter,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you, I don't,
Yeah,
sorry.
you're right. No, I mean, and it's true. And Leah yelling at the table, calling them all of them H's, yet they're
Mhm.
telling Ebony she's being aggressive, and it's like, what the heck? So we see it, and it's like I mean, when I say we, I'm gonna speak for me. I can't speak for everybody else that is brown
Hey,
like
Natasha.
myself or melanated, but you
Hi.
you you have to. In order for you to have longevity, because I hear you with Garcelle coming harder sooner, but Garcelle is also building a brand outside of Real Housewives. If you think about Real Housewives, people that didn't really do well after they left the show, you don't really hear anything else of them. Garcelle's trying to establish longevity and connection with other brands. So especially being the only one in that environment, she
She's
cannot
playing the
represent.
long game.
Yes, you cannot represent yourself ratchet and aggressive like that. You have to play that whole passive aggressive game. I don't know how many times I've been in meetings with like
Wait,
leaders.
hold up. Don't come for the rat. Wait, what?
I got a little ratchet in me too, Southside Chicago. Okay, let's not. I don't forget, but I'm also on that path of upward mobility. Right, I don't
I'm
own the world. I
business,
have to be in spaces.
but
Right, I have to be.
ratchet feeds my soul.
Yeah, ratchet is a part of who
It
I
makes
am.
sense.
Okay,
Tell
I've
me how
got
you squeeze
tattoos
it.
and all types of
Make it
shit.
make
But
sense. Yeah, but the things that you say make it make sense.
Oh
I'm
God.
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, Miss D Green, please finish.
no, because I got you, because you are a professional person, so I know you get it. I know you're playing. But like I've been in meetings, right? And I have a leader, like she's not melanated. She says some of the most off the wall, craziest things. And I always think to myself, man, if I ever even say anything like that, like my little job would be at risk. So you have to temper yourself. Like when you
Mhm.
are in that environment, trying to do better for yourself until you can get to the top, you have to play the game. And that's just how I perceive Garcelle's presence on that show. So that
Mm.
small stuff about her fashions, her money, to me, that's immature. I don't look at that. I look at she's a person of color
Or
that has
lack
survived.
thereof.
You know,
Or
I'm
lack
like,
thereof
that is
of
so silly.
fashion.
I look at
Her
she is
fashions
a
are better this season.
yeah,
They're better
but
on
like
Instagram, but
but she's a
it also
person of
makes me wish
color
that
that
like
has
she looked
survived
longer.
on an all-white cast for more than 2 seasons. That's the
Mhm.
historical significance I choose to respect in Garcelle. And
Okay,
I
I
like
hear
that
you.
she is
That's
in
true.
herself. You know, it's like it's bigger than just the drama and shit. Cause like editing too. Oh, sorry, Mims, I cursed.
No, you're fine.
But that's how passionate I am about her. And I'm glad she's coming out of her shell. Cause it's like I see it. I see what you're doing, Garcelle. I see it. And yeah, you might do some things that people don't approve of, but so do the women you're on the cast with. They do some of the most
Say
grimy.
the
I'm like, oh my
least.
God, you're so immature. Kyle with no loyalty to her sister. It's like, please. Rena with the, oh, I forgive you. Oh, I don't forgive you. Okay, I forgive you, or I don't forgive you.
Every
And then
5
Erica,
seconds.
right. And I'm like, Erica, what are you doing? Like, I'm tired of it. But I love
What
my
is she
Garcelle.
doing?
I love my Garcelle. Sorry, I took up so much time. I was happy to see what happened last night.
No, I mean you're
Okay.
fine.
Oh God.
No, I just interrupt
Um,
because I have ADHD. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Kai, hold on really, really quick though, before we move to Kai.
Mhm.
Misty Green, I hear everything you're saying. I just still feel like Garcelle would be more of a complete full character on the show if she added more of her real life stuff. That's just my opinion. Like I want to see who you're dating. Um, I want to see like Garcelle to me is still producing the show just like Kyle. It works in her favor for Sutton to be her friend because she can push Sutton into scenes like she tried to do with the Erica stuff. She
Mm-hmm.
told Sutton exactly what Erica had said, and then in her mind she said, "Okay, I'm going to pull Erica to the side, and we're going to have this conversation." And Erica shut it down. She did the same thing on this episode when she was like, is there anything anybody else has to clean up? And that was Sutton's segue into talking again about the liabilities. So I
Yeah.
like Garcelle. I think that Sutton and Garcelle are a dynamic duo. I just want more from Garcelle's personal storyline instead of pushing other people's storyline forward. So I'm glad to see her in this moment where she can really like lay into Erica. Uh, really quickly, Garcelle kills it.
She's
Yes.
beautiful
Which
on
is
Instagram.
not.
Well, first of all, the woman's beautiful, period. But on Instagram, I'm like, girl, I need this on the television screen because that bitch knows how to get it together. It is disgusting how she's 55.
She's
That's
beautiful.
crazy.
Beautiful. That's a queen.
I
Like, oh,
mean, look at this outfit. We got the
oh,
Chanel. We
disgusting in
got
all the right ways.
this is everything. She
Yeah, like her
deserves to
makeup and
end up
hair.
with
Hello.
a Jamie Foxx. She deserved this kind of high profile
She
relationship.
yeah, she did.
Okay,
I,
It's
is
kind of
it?
sad.
Can I claim my time now?
yes, Kai. Jump
Kai's
in.
like, hello.
Well, because you already know I talk fast. I'm like I've been doing a little bit of research and all that kind of stuff. So I
Kai,
try to
let me tell you
pace
this much.
myself.
Kai, you are
We all
always welcome
interrupt.
to be yourself on this channel. I don't know what other people say. I don't even care what people say. You are all right with me.
Yeah, we
Okay.
like you, Kai.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
I love you,
so
Kai.
because I be nerding out and looking at things. I was listening out, and I found some very fascinating things over like the past couple weeks, listening to some
Ooh.
podcasts and stuff. So the one tea that I felt we all always knew, but I was able to get like extra confirmation from several different like Black podcasters who have some networks in the West Coast. They were saying that last season at the reunion when Garcelle said Brandon didn't want to talk about race, apparently it really is Kyle told Kathy, and Kathy likes Garcelle so much. Kathy told Garcelle, and that there really are text messages. And
Mm.
I
Shut
heard it from
up.
multiple like
That's
podcast
why
like
they went after
podcasters
Kathy.
Kai,
who are
Kai,
in that.
Kai,
Yes,
Kai.
like
When you
yeah.
have information like this, you shut us all up. You
Oh,
just say
nerd and I'll be bored at home. I'm a simply woman. I just be listening to
Like
things.
you should have like a button that you press and it's like an alarm. It's like woo,
Yeah,
woo, woo.
I
And be like,
got
okay,
you.
Kai,
I need to get
you got the floor.
listen-ins on Instagram. But yeah, so they're saying like Kathy like really likes Garcelle. And so when Kyle told her that, she ran to Garcelle, told her, and that the text messages are out there in the ether webs. And then also I let my ears bleed listening to Carlos King's podcast, but that was only because Kate Casey was on, and she brought up some interesting points, and then it also made me think
I
of
know which
other
one you're
things.
talking about. Yep.
Who's Kit Casey?
She's
Isn't she a
she's a
Haitian?
white
She's
woman.
a-
She has like she
Oh.
has really good interviews and stuff like that. But it was an interesting point of like because Mim was always laughing at me when I said I think they are also bothered by Sutton not fitting the mold of what they feel like a Beverly Hills housewife should be.
That's true.
And
I
and
agree
Kate
with you.
Casey said it in a better way. Like Sunstrap comes from like the financial girls, the financial
Mhm.
sector of the wealth. And so, yeah, so how that society runs is very much so different than Beverly Hills, which is why last year when Sutton was talking about her reputation and they put up the photo of like Sutton's group, that photo was blurred and those people had a bar over their face. Like that's kind of where Sutton runs. Regardless if it's 50 million, I believe she has more money than that because her husband has operated in South America with BlackRock and all that kind of stuff. But basically,
Not BlackRock.
What's BlackRock?
They own the world. They
They
literally
like,
own the
like
world.
apparently like her husband's really big in like the venture capitalist hedge fund, and they
Every
were part of a lot of
company
the South American
that
government
exists.
like economic system. So I believe that like she's the kind of person where you're like you will never know how much money she has. But anyway, so
They
I
say
think
money
that
talks and wealth whispers. So
it whispers. And so for me, that's why I'm like, okay, that makes even more sense because Kate Casey was also saying how you see how Lisa Rinna, she was going around talking about how like she was supposed to be the first housewife on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and the only reason why Sutton was on there was because she wasn't able to make it. Kate Casey said a lot of her friends who are actresses are annoyed by Sutton because she's, she was never into entertainment. All of a sudden now she's on Jimmy Kimmel Live, E! News, Entertainment Tonight, all this kind of stuff. And it is an interesting
And that's their
point
narcissist supply.
yeah.
Oh,
Sutton's
okay.
track is not
Kai.
entertainment, and she's getting
Kai.
so much attention. Yes.
1 second. So when you make a good point, and I don't know, we gotta review it. So it says BlackRock is an
Tell me something
American.
you know. Go ahead.
Is
Let's
an
work it out.
American multinational investment management corporation based in New York.
Yes.
With
They own
BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
10 trillion in assets.
Yes.
So
They are
I
part
had
of
no
keeping the
idea.
American government together.
They
That's why
own
when you said that
majority of
beforehand, I
those
knew you were.
companies.
I knew like the women article that you read on. I knew that wasn't correct because I went to
Well,
I went
she
to a
said
school.
40 million. That just meant that she got 40 million as
Like she finds that in her
portion.
couch.
You
No,
know what I
that
mean?
was her
Yeah,
lump
but
sum.
I just knew that there was actually
Mims.
more
That
though.
wasn't her assets. That was her lump sum.
She like
Wow.
finds
But
that under
there's
the,
more
She
like
still
the
gets
cushions
alimony.
in her couch.
That's how you know I'm broke. I didn't know anything about
She
BlackRock.
still gets
well, okay,
alimony.
like
I don't
here's
either,
my
but
little
I'm just
tea
into
of my life.
researching.
I went to a very prominent school where like Kennedys and stuff went, and like one of the girls, her dad was on the C-suite level of Twitter, and she had like Charlie Puth and Zed DJing her 21st birthday party. So I learned all kinds of interesting things like about BlackRock. And so when I like heard that Sutton and her husband, like they were together since teenage years and all that kind of stuff. So Sutton is deep into that money. So that lump sum is not even close to it.
Wow.
That's
I
probably why
wanna be
Diana
Sutton's
hates her
friend.
too.
Yeah,
So
she
that's
got
why
it
for
in
me,
assets. She
yes.
got it in assets and other things.
Hold on really
And
quick, guys.
yes.
2 seconds. Sorry.
Mhm.
2%. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Oh,
She
yes,
said,
super
just
chat.
because I love Mims. Oh, I love you too. 2%. And look, you call her name and she pops up.
Hey,
Hey,
too.
2%.
Did
Hey,
you hear me
too.
thanking you? Could you hear me thanking you?
Oh my god, you
from
look
the
like a
back?
little Marilyn Monroe.
No,
Yeah,
because
it's okay.
I said thank you. I love you too.
I really do. Please don't
Okay.
judge me. I was supposed to be trying to get in the bed, and then I was like, I gotta get in on this. I gotta get in on this.
Okay.
Did you hear what
And
Kyle
I
just
was wondering
said?
why you weren't up here.
I don't know. Yeah, what were you saying about the?
So basically, Sutton's husband is into hedge funding, and they were a part of BlackRock being into the South American government, into all the economics, and basically, like Venezuela and all that kind of stuff. They're very much so natural resource rich, so that's why like the economic, like they were a part of all of that. So when Mims earlier a couple weeks ago said that she got $50 million, like she's like 6 below Diana, I knew that was wrong. Because I was like,
She's got
she
more
might not have
money
as much, but she probably is just as close, if not closer, or over. But she's closer into that range than what people think. And
As
I
soon
was
as you
saying,
said BlackRock, I was like, whoa.
and I was saying basically last year when Sutton was talking about her reputation, don't you find it interesting that the photo that they have of like one of her groups, it had to be blurred and also had to have a censor block over the people's faces, even though it's already blurred. Like,
No, I
Oh,
figured that
wait,
because
Kai. So that makes so much more sense now that I actually know what BlackRock is. So if her friends are of this upper echelon of money and wealth and prominence,
It's like
and they
government
probably
wealth.
have some like they have some underhanded stuff probably as well. They don't want to be associated with anybody who has scandal because they don't want anything chipping away at their own.
Yeah, but you know,
that's why her husband didn't want her children on there.
Yeah, everyone does a little something, and also it's like Sutton's a part of like the American Ballet Association, like
I would do a
things
little
like
was
that.
a
That's
dancer.
conservative,
She was a ballet
yeah.
dancer. Yeah,
And
she was
so
a
for me,
ballet
that's why I understood why she cared so much. And then with the issue with Garcelle, I get annoyed though because sometimes Black people make me wish that Garcelle wasn't on the show, and it's not the racist white people. Sometimes it's the Black people. Because for me,
We tear our
Garcelle's the
own people
person who's
down.
on the show who's built her house. Dorit is the one who has all her houses in everyone's name but her own. You know, Garcelle's the one who's buying her clothes. Dorit's over there lying about she bought her clothes when we know she couldn't afford anything. And how are you being robbed, but all of a sudden you still have vintage dresses? But weren't you robbed? You know,
Right.
Lisa Rinna is the one who has 3 different liens on her home that are worth more than the home, but yet we're going after Garcelle, building her dream home, and then building another property on a beach in California. Do you not know how expensive that is? And she's going to tear it down and build something else up. And so for me, I think also people don't understand the network that Garcelle has. She might not have as much money, but Garcelle's husband was a part of CAA. CAA represented Johnny Depp, and her husband was one of the top agents there for
Yeah, he
years.
was loaded.
but it's more than being loaded. It's Hollywood. So either you have the money or you know the people. And knowing the people sometimes is more important
better.
than having the money.
More powerful.
And Garcelle knows everyone, which is why she's hanging out with Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg for their show on Netflix.
Yeah, she's got probably a lot more social capital than
her
any of
birthday
them.
party then. Why did nobody come to her birthday party?
Nobody
Because
wants to
it's
film that
on-
show.
Who is
Because
that?
they're
Oh,
like, we're
Real
not showing
Housewives
up for
party,
that
that's why.
raggedy reality TV show.
That makes
Yeah, but I mean, quite a
She
few
got
people
Nick
did show up for her
Cannon.
birthday party.
She got
Oh,
Nick Cannon
that's
at
true.
her first at her charity event for the homeless, not toothless.
Oh no, you did not. And so for me, I think those are kind of like two things that people don't really think about when they think about why the women are also annoyed with Sutton and Garcelle. And for me also, I like that we forget that Garcelle's on her first season, but she wasn't actually on there a lot. People forget Garcelle was not trying to be on this show. Beverly Hills has been asking Garcelle to be on there for so long, and she kept telling them no. And she told them she would be busy, and they said, it's okay, we'll still give you a diamond, which is why she was able to be a full-time housewife and barely there, and the girls could not stand it.
That's
And then
true.
after that, what did Garcelle do? She got a first look deal, production deal with NBC Universal.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, Garcelle is working
What was
smarter
her
than ever.
production deal?
Now, how do you have
She's
all
a-
this tea?
She's
honey?
producing
Wait, what-
shows.
She has,
Yeah,
She
that's why I
basically- okay, I
cannot
can
be
relate
a
it to-
part of
it's-
that whole tearing her down. I can't do it because, like I said, I respect the historical significance of her being on the show.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
just
but
will
also
not
it's like what she's
participate
doing
in
now.
And she's probably more wealthy than anyone tearing her down. So it's like,
Exactly.
come on.
Well, I mean, we
world
know
is
she's
moving,
at,
right?
we know
Deal.
she's at least a couple million because her house is at least worth that, and then she has
No,
all
her
of
house
the
is
work
more
that
than a couple million.
the
And also, all those women don't even live in Beverly Hills. So anyone
Hold
talking
on.
about her not
that's
living
not
there,
in. No, I'm just saying. I'm not diminishing her. I'm saying her house is at least a couple
yes.
million, and then she has a whole nother beach house that she's building. People don't understand when you have real estate like that. That all goes
California?
into your
Yeah.
net. That all goes
Yeah.
into your net worth.
but someone wanted me
Garcelle-
to explain like a first look deal. So basically, it's a deal where basically if you are deciding to produce anything, you sign over that this company has the first touch on being able to buy it from you and do out. It's the same thing like Johnny Depp had it with Disney. Any movie, like anything, any kind of like video cinematography project you want to have out, you have it contract out that company will be the first ones. If someone wants to buy it, they have first rights to buy it. She has that with NBC Universal, which is the parent of Bravo.
Wow.
And so
it's
for
better
me,
than Candy's deal.
well, Kenny has just more of a Bravo deal of like she want more Black people to be into Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
But
She
basically,
should have shot for NBC. That would have been better.
I don't know, but also I don't know what Kenny wants to do. Kenny's doing Broadway right now, so I'm not going to compare those two because you don't really know what trajectory they're going off of. But anyway, I like that Garcelle wasn't her first season. Her first season. So the second season to me is where she really was able to work with the women. But then the Erica thing happened, and I feel like people are rewriting history. Erica came on that season talking about her and Tom were closer than ever before. He can't wait to get into the office. All of a sudden, they're getting divorced, and she starts talking more than ever about their relationship, how terrible it was, and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Everyone gave her sympathy. Sutton was the only one who offered her money, who was renting out spas for her and bringing her care packages. It wasn't until that article came out, and then all those lawsuits came out, that Sutton realized you were using us to get ahead of the story on this TV show, having us listen to your dumb stories and you lying, knowing that this article is about to come out and say that your whole entire life is a lie. And that's the only time that Sutton and
She
Garcelle
did
had to
put
take a
them
step
all at
back.
risk.
Yeah.
And their
Yeah, they're mad because
reputations.
Sutton was the only one that was openly asking the questions, and that's what the whole agenda is this season. Is they want Garcelle to jump on that train of icing Sutton out. They want Sutton gone, and Garcelle will not budge because they're still mad at her. When I say they're sticking up for Erica because of her being open and asking questions and stating the obvious, which she wasn't the only one that was doing that.
Meanwhile,
So I'm
Dorit
just
was
like-
neck and neck with Sutton at that one meeting that she held. Remember?
Their life was
Kyle,
diametrically
too.
opposite.
They were literally doing the same thing. Dorit almost more at times. Like, it was ridiculous. And for her to be like crickets.
And also, why are we pretending now all of a sudden that Erica told Sutton to be quiet? No, Erica, I remember last year we were all raising our eyebrows because it sounded like Erica was saying that Tom, Mr. Incompetent, was going to find out some way what Sutton was saying and was going to sue Sutton on their behalf.
Because she
was not
working
trying to
with
tell that woman to be
that
quiet.
she still had power. So she was still trying to flex that power at Sutton. It wasn't to help Sutton. That's literally crazy.
It was crazy. So I'm tired of like her little stands rewriting history. That woman was acting like her or Tom was going to sue Sutton, and we were all like, "How?"
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're all like,
she was threatening her, and I
Oop, that
think
face.
that Sutton is
Does she
still
have all her
alive.
teeth? Does Erica have all her teeth for real in real life?
oh my God.
Oh, I don't know.
She does. Wait, no, she does.
I mean,
It
I'm
looks
trying
like
to
she
figure
has
out if
most
she's
of
I'm
them.
sure they're veneers.
Yeah.
I'm sure she
They
got some
probably
I
are.
mean, they can be veneers, but I feel like she's missing a few.
In the back,
Me?
like
I
me?
think
Wait, in
No.
the
Maybe
back
she
like
just got
Mimi?
front ones. You know how some people just get the front 4 or 5,
Boy.
and then
And
and
forgot
then
the rest.
they get a little too white and bigger than the rest, and it looks weird.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Like
She
look
should
at
have
this
Kyle.
opted
picture.
for the
Or
full
Samantha.
grill.
Look at this picture and tell me that it doesn't look like Erica's gonna be toothless in a few years. Like,
Oh
can't
my
you
God.
It
see?
literally reminds me of my late great grandmother. Like, I'm not joking.
okay. Now I'm gonna try and jump in here now. Sutton is still a liability, I think, to Garcelle because they are coming after her, and she is going to get the afterburn of them coming after Sutton.
Well,
I
Sutton
want-
got the afterburn.
I want, even though Garcelle doesn't pipe up as enough, I think, for me, I think she is regal. I think she needs to just not let them trample all over her. And I think that was the wrong thing for her to do out the gate. There's ways you can do that without being ratchet. And she's trying to do it now, but she should have did it way back when, because now they think she's a pushover. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing, me growing up in a white world, I hated them thinking that I was a pushover.
That you were going to
I
say
hear
it.
you, Corey. But sometimes you got to sit back and observe
Yes.
the environment
She
too before you
observed.
jump
She
in there.
observed.
I think she's doing
she
it.
observed.
I think she's doing it in the best way that she can, because
Yeah.
again, she has way more to lose than they do. She has a lot more books on the deal. She has a lot. Her reputation is a lot. You know, I don't want to say. We know who Garcelle is pre-Housewives. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She may have the money, and I'm all for Sutton. And again, Kyle may know the most people, but we actually know Garcelle. And for her coming in, as somebody said earlier, for her coming in and being a minority, she has to tread lightly on what she could say, because you have to imagine how it's going to be. And Corey, you're not. Trust me, I do that all day long. You know,
I know, but I just don't want. I don't want y'all to think I want her to be like Nene. I want her to do it in a classy way. Oh, I know how to read a Becky.
But you don't think she's
very classy?
She gained.
Yeah, but look at how manipulative they are, Corey.
Yeah.
They can spin it in any way, shape, or form.
They called her aggressive last year.
Garcelle, exactly.
Yeah, in this episode.
And that was her fault for not putting her foot down.
Wait, okay. Well, let's talk facts. Let's talk facts.
Let's talk facts. And she
Ebony Williams.
She wasn't even really, you know.
I'm not talking about being Ebony. I'm talking about there's a way she could have did that. She could have said, "I'm not going to take this microaggression right here." She could have said that. She could have put it plain and put it out there.
Because Black people are going crazy because she said that. Oh my God, Black Twitter.
You can't use subtext with these girls. I've gone to school. I've gone to prep school with these kind of girls. I know this girl. I know these girls. You cannot be subtext. You cannot be.
You might have to teach me a little bit, because
They're crafty.
Just like
them Becky's is crafty.
I think Garcelle's playing their game.
Yeah,
crafty is sitting up there saying that you are in your grief right now, and everybody needs to understand, but not giving Lisa Vanderpump room to breathe while she was grieving her brother.
While she had a double death.
That's
exactly.
Exactly. Let me take this a little left, just a little bit, while I got a chance to talk. Okay. So the book, The House of Hilton, is not going to mention Kim. It's not going to mention Kyle.
No.
This is what I can tell. Yes, this is what I'm going to tell you it's about. You need to look at a Nikki Swift video on YouTube about Kathy Hilton, the shady side of Kathy Hilton. This is only about Kathy, Rick, and how the Hiltons disowned him for marrying Kathy. And how he had to build his wealth by himself. He didn't get anything from the big grandpapa Hilton. The children
you
got
don't
it.
have to when your father is Rick. I mean, when your father is what, Conrad?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you get a thing.
That
You
gets
are
you
born into.
indoors.
It'll
Yeah,
get you in the door.
It opens all the doors.
And
Yeah,
when
like
you're
all
just
the
selling,
when I say
sorry,
doors, I
you're
mean
just
all.
selling real
Yeah.
estate. If
The
you have a real estate person who's just coming off the street and you have Conrad Hilton's son saying, "I'm gonna sell your house," where do you think that deal is gonna go to?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not knocking that. But I'm saying this is what I'm telling you. The book is about.
Hey,
I'm
Colby.
trying to help you out here so you don't
Hello.
read this whole book and be like, oh dang, what I thought was in it is not in it.
It also talks about the other side of the family too.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
are
yes,
not
it
innocent
does.
Catholic people. They
Yes,
have
it does.
skeletons in that closet.
Yes, it is. And it also talks about how
Yep.
Kathy is an incompetent, non-existent mother.
Yep.
Mhm.
There goes
I
my
mean,
interview
parents
with
had a
Kathy
whole
Hilton.
documentary for that.
Oh,
She
I'm
left
sorry,
them. She left them
allegedly.
in the hotel for like 2 weeks.
That's why her children are a mess.
And
Except for
Paris
Nikki.
and Nikki were just like little, and the staff was like, "What do you want us to do with your kids?" And they're like, "Just give them food." Like literally, and they left their pets. It was awful.
She
I
would
heard.
leave she would leave Nikki with anybody who asked to hold her. Did
How
Lisa
dangerous is that?
would not leave she didn't leave provisions for them.
Well, she needed
No
to go have a
diapers, no
drink.
nothing, and she would be
For
gone
2 weeks?
hours.
How does your panel have all this tea, Mims?
We're nosy.
Yeah,
I'm a YouTuber
they're my people.
Oh my goodness! Like that got the right connection.
because they don't have it on.
We get to Eye of the
Audible.
Tiger, and we get to snooping.
Yeah, they don't have it on Audible, so I had to find the Cliff Notes version because
Oh
I
no,
cannot
Sally, I'm
read
reading the
that.
book. We're gonna read the book.
I can't read. I don't have
Sally.
time to read that book. I'm studying for my insurance license. Shoot,
Good for you,
Oh,
Corey.
congratulations.
Yeah,
I ain't got the time, baby.
Yeah, sister.
I just want to. Oh, and also the reason why Kathy and Kim treats Kyle different, they have a different father.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Kyle-
Kim
I
and
thought-
Kyle have the same father.
Yeah, Kim and Kyle have the same father.
They treat her different because
I
she looks
thought
like
that
this.
it was like that too, Corey.
She
But
looks like Kathy's family. She looks like Big Kathy's family. Remember when they went to
She looks like
Kyle's
Kylie
store
Jenner.
in Hamptons, and a woman came up
she does.
to Kyle,
Her first
her
head.
aunt,
Wow,
and
wow,
she looks just like her.
wow.
Nobody
Or
on Kathy's side
more
is blonde.
so that she couldn't be a really successful child star like her sister, nor could she really marry someone with a lot of money. And she's always been
Like
a black
Kathy.
sheep of the family.
Called
Exactly.
House of Hilton.
So I think that's like the most important part. Also, can we stop talking about how Garcelle is not always sticking up for Sutton? We do not. The two biggest fights that Sutton is having is because she stood up for Garcelle.
That's what I was gonna say.
I still don't
Thank
like Sutton.
you.
For her. If she
Literally,
You
she's
don't have to like
getting
Sutton, but it's just this false narrative. I'm
only
like, she
reason why
literally
Brenna
got
is
into a
yelling
fight
at
with
her
Brenna
is
over Garcelle.
because the only reason
Because she
Brenna is
humiliated
coming
Brenna.
for her like a psychopath is
Because she
because
humiliated
she's
her.
Yep, on behalf
Over
of
Garcelle.
Garcelle.
And the reason
She
why
had
Ren is
Garcelle's
saying
back.
the reason Ren is has Erica's back so much is because she's funneling that money through that
Yep.
whatever.
She's washing Erica's money.
Mhm.
She's
Bingo,
like,
bingo.
"Hold on,
And you
you
know
go
why?
down, my money go down too. So listen, I got your back through and
You know
through."
why Harry isn't around, don't you?
Why?
Because his
Men.
wife is
I was just gonna say
washing
that.
money.
Canada.
Because his wife is washing money.
And he's like, I'm going out of the country with all my boyfriends. Bye.
Allegedly.
Okay.
So he's-
Well, I do want to
Did
give
you
my
hear my
opinion really
alleged?
Oh my
quick.
god, I didn't even
He's
know.
in the garden.
I
He's
said,
in the
hey,
Hi,
garden.
Colby.
I'm
Colby,
the other
sorry.
day.
Hey,
Sorry,
No
Colby.
problem. No,
Denise.
no
Go
problem.
ahead,
I was
Colby.
just listening. Okay. Well, the
Snuck
other thing I
in.
want to say
Colby.
is that, oh, hello. I want to say that I think that there is a line in the sand, and I do think that Sutton is the queen of the show because if it takes 4 girls to go after you, you are the queen. But I
Right?
do think at the end of the day, I think that Garcelle is going to turn on Sutton. And the reason that I think that's going to happen is because the 3 other girls are a force. If you remember back in the day, Kyle was Lisa's lapdog. Kyle
Did you
loved
call them
Lisa.
whores?
She followed Lisa all around. She
A
defended
force.
Lisa. And
Oh.
the girls just stayed on her for years until they finally were able to turn Kyle against Lisa. Once Lisa had no support, because a queen only needs one supporter. Nene only had Cynthia. Like the queen only
Right.
needs one. She don't need a group, and she can check
You just
every
need
chip
one
in that group.
assistant.
Yeah, she only needs one exactly. And they see Sutton, and all Sutton needs is Garcelle. So they're going after Sutton, and they're going to make Garcelle's a line in the sand, and Garcelle's going to have to choose. And all the other girls,
How many
the
times have they
history of
tried?
the show.
That's why
But
Cherie
all
ain't
the other
opening her
girls are
mouth.
chosen the other girls. Like if you remember, also with
That's why I'm done with
what's her
Cherie.
name? Nene and Cynthia. Nene was checking everybody. Then when they finally turned Cynthia against Nene, then they all went and attacked her and they made her quit. They're trying to make her leave. That's the same thing they're
They're
trying to
like,
do.
it's like
Sutton.
chess, literally. Like the
But did they
queen.
know
Exactly.
Hold
Cynthia?
on,
They go
hold
after her
on, guys.
support system.
Let him get his point out.
Yeah, they're going after her support system. You know, this is what the strategy that the girls have on all the shows. They go after the support system. Once they take her best friend, like Cynthia, then they can attack her at will. You know what I mean? And then she's nothing she can do about it. And they can harass her, make her leave the show. You see that Cynthia left. I'm sorry, what's her name? Lisa Vanderpump left crying. You know, she had deaths in the family. They were still attacking her because then they finally turned Kyle against her. And that's what they're going to do with Garcelle. Garcelle is not going to be able to do it for years because Kyle was loyal. As people forget how loyal Kyle was to Lisa. Lisa used to clown Kyle all the time. And she was very loyal to her for years
That's
and
true.
years doing all. So at the end of the day, they were able to break her. And all the seasons, they were always the girls. Those sets are able
But
to
with the
break that
audience
girl.
support, do you think it's still going to be possible? Like, I think I could
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
It is.
I think that it will be possible because I saw how quickly Garcelle turned on what's her name, the pretty girl,
Crystal.
Crystal.
Denise?
Yeah. She was kind of loyal to Denise, but she turned on Crystal very swiftly for her
She
position.
never liked
But
Crystal.
She
it's
never
never
liked
liked
easy
Crystal.
to turn on Crystal. Crystal doesn't count for much of anything. Her story
Oh.
keeps changing.
Yeah, you're
No.
right. Crystal
It's
is
true.
is a seat
When
filler.
you can see the problem with Crystal is you can clearly see everything that she's doing. They know her backstory and they know she's trying to play into the camera. They know she's trying to find a story.
She's too wishy-washy, yeah.
So
Well,
it's
but at the
easy
same
to
time,
say,
though, you have to.
Garcelle's like, I don't have time for you.
yeah, like
Hold
she's
on,
like,
let her finish her point.
no. So I don't think it's really it's. I'm sorry. This is to Kobe. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. I'm just saying that
Yeah, sorry.
what's the name doesn't count.
Crystal.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I have so many wrong names to say. Lord bless my mouth. No, like I'm not buying her. I'm not buying her stories. I'm not buying nothing that she's selling. I just think that if she has this many problems, this many severe problems, I don't
She need to be in therapy.
Yeah, go get that worked out, and then let's find another person that can manage their issues and also speak up for themselves. Because she's not, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Because your husband,
I think the issues she has are quite common though on the show, like the eating issues. Like those issues are quite common with other women that are on those seasons as well. So I don't see her going through anything any different than anyone else.
That's the
I
only
think
story she has. That's an underlying issue that most of them have. Like you can't tell me that Renette doesn't have that same issue, but that is not her. You know what I mean?
Why don't you eat a piece of bread? You'll feel better.
That was so good.
And Kobe, as far as Garcelle turning on Crystal, and I say that in air quotes, I don't think she really turned. She was trying to get Crystal to reveal what was allegedly dark, what was stated that was dark, because she was saying it against Sutton. And if you remember, Sutton and Garcelle are defending each other. Sutton is in this pickle because of her defense of Garcelle on Watch What Happens Live. So I think in that moment, she's asking Crystal, she's saying, okay, well, what did she say? What did she say? Crystal came up with nothing. So then Garcelle, in defense of her friend, said, watch your back. Because Sutton had her back on Watch What Happens Live. So it's like, okay, I'm going to default to who has my back because obviously Crystal is not coming forward with what was said.
I think that Crystal
Janice, jump in.
Sutton as well, so she didn't want to bust her out, say this, and do it on TV. Sutton is a businesswoman at the end of the day, so she doesn't want to make Sutton look a certain way by trying to make it seem like she's insensitive. So I think that Crystal was trying to be loyal to both, but also going back to the beginning, Crystal did kind of start her interaction with Sutton negatively because she was defending the race issue. If you remember, it was actually Crystal the one that was speaking up, and it was Sutton and Kyle that was saying that Garcelle was oversensitive about race. And it was Crystal the one that was trying to will them back in. That's how this started. And she was talking about being a flirt and trying to tell, she was actually checking Sutton. Sutton was siding with Kyle. You remember that conversation.
Yeah.
So Crystal was
Can
trying
we actually
to
talk about that conversation?
But Crystal needs to stand in her convictions. If she's going to come from that place and bring something up as sensitive as race on a show that has been predominantly white, she needs to stand on that, because how is Garcelle going to step behind you? Even though Sutton, is kind of like, clumsy with her words, at least, she sticks by what her convictions are in the best way that she can. So if I was Garcelle, I wouldn't really, jump with Crystal either, because Crystal is being wishy-washy. If Crystal's gonna bring that, she needs to stand in it and speak it for what it is.
And do we remember
Garcelle's
how
like,
it
this
was
is war out
questioned?
here.
Yeah, it is war.
Before we
She's
move
like,
on
I
really
need
quick,
someone to stand
we
their
have
ground.
we have one new person in the panel. Janice, where you at?
Hey,
You gotta jump in around here.
Hello?
Janice.
I know, because I have a point, and I've been trying to make.
Okay, I'm waiting.
No, wait.
No, you're good.
Say where you at with it, Janice? I put you on the spot. Okay, Kai, we'll come back to you, Janice.
Okay.
I promise.
Can we start this conversation over?
Go for it.
Last year, Kyle brought up her conversation with Garcelle because Kyle was being was being rude, and Sutton did step into it. And Crystal's like, "Are you that girl?" I was fine with her doing that, but my eyebrow raised when on that same weekend, I believe that same weekend or the next trip, Kathy goes and says the same thing, and Miss Crystal is mute, and Garcelle has a whole different conversation with a completely different tone, and was able to articulate it, and which not everyone has to be a teacher, but I still find it interesting that like she jumped on Sutton with the quickness, but when her friend Kathy said the same thing, all of a sudden she sat back. And do you not remember at the reunion that question was posed to Crystal? And she did say the conversation was different, but it still felt off-putting that, okay, the conversation was different, but you still weren't the first person to speak, unlike the last time. So I always felt like that maybe Garcelle side-eyed Crystal in the sense of like, were you singling her out for this situation? Because the fact is, your friend said the same thing, and I was able to have a conversation with her completely different than the conversation we were able to have with Sutton.
And so she was like,
I don't agree, Kai. Only because when Crystal was talking to Kyle, Sutton jumped in that conversation and tried to shut her down.
Into it.
And
I said,
made me
remember what I said? I said Sutton jumped into it, and Crystal was right for that. I said my eyebrow raised when Kathy said the same thing, and Crystal didn't say anything.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if I'm having a conversation, I'm on camera, and let's say Natasha comes in and tries to cut me off, my response to Natasha is going to be different than when I'm talking to my friend later on. I'm going to be a little bit softer with my friend. I'm going to get the person to cut me off and try to.
But the thing is, Crystal didn't say anything at all. That's the point. Crystal did not say anything at all to Kathy. It's not like I would be fine if she had a different tone with Kathy, but Garcelle was the one who approached that conversation. It was not Crystal. That's what I'm saying.
I was fine.
She probably wasn't going to say anything negative about Kathy because that's her friend, and she probably
then you can't be the crusader. You can't be the crusader if all of a sudden you can't say anything.
They all do it off camera with their friend. There's not, except for maybe Kenya and Cynthia, they all do it off camera with the people they actually care about.
But I'm just saying, maybe Garcelle side I heard for that, so it doesn't help that when I question you about it. She could have thrown that question back to Garcelle and say like, "Oh, you really think I would?" Well, she did say, "You really think you would do that?" And Garcelle said, "I'm not sure," which that tells me that they didn't really hang out that much over that summer, unlike Sutton and Garcelle did, and then Sutton and Crystal did. And so then for you to say she said something dark, I felt Crystal messed up when she tried to pull Garcelle into it in the sense of like, Kyle, it would not affect you the way it would affect me and Garcelle. Oh, like people of color like me and Garcelle would probably be upset about it, but Kyle wouldn't understand. She tried to make it too personal to Garcelle without going to say anything. And so for me, it became emotionally violent when you're saying that this white woman who like has a stereotype of being from the South and has her accent said something dark when it came to race, and I'm a black woman and you're letting me be friends with her when I'm asking you, what did she say?
Okay.
It became emotionally violent to me after that point.
Y'all are so serious. So listen, between dark, the statement of the dark statement, and what was the and the are you gonna
violation?
Be girl? Yeah, that's the big issue where Sutton. I mean,
Crystal.
Between the thing that gets me about her is the violation. That's where she lost me.
I don't care about that. She felt violated as her personal space.
If she would have said that you walked in on me having adult time with my husband, and
that wasn't it.
If she said something like that, instead of saying, when you came in, I fell to the floor and then you violated me and you
Okay, I have an answer for that. I got an answer for that.
With her. You know, I could understand that, like she's her husband's away and she wants to do her video FaceTime. Girl, I would have been with you on that. That's where she lost me.
But when a woman has like those sorts of issues, though, we can't really judge like her image of herself. For example, Tammy Roman got her sheets pulled, and she act like she had received
But that was
it
by a
herself.
Well,
man.
no.
That was
But I'm
different.
saying, so
It
she
doesn't
also
matter.
had
It's
those
still a
issues.
violation.
Hold that man 4 or
So
5
what I'm saying is she had those
times.
issues like Crystal does, and when someone nothing was even showing. She wasn't even nude like Crystal was. Crystal was at
Well, you
least
don't
naked.
know. I think
Tammy
she
had on
was
her clothes.
nude.
Okay,
I
give me a
think
moment
she
to give me
And
can I talk, please? Okay,
Oh,
so what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, they both have those issues with their self-image. So they're going to react totally different than a normal woman would. And they had those reactions, and basically we can't tell her how to react. I
All right.
basically think at the end of the day,
can I say
regarding the
something
race
next?
part, is just one more part and I'm done. Regarding the race part, I thought that Garcelle was being insincere because I don't think for one moment Garcelle thought that Sutton had really said something racist. I think Garcelle done this to expose Crystal. When she was talking to Sutton, I didn't see any suspicion like, Sutton, did you say this? Like, I thought that she trusted Sutton all the way through this. So I thought
I
that she really brought it up to bust her out because she was never going to stop talking to Sutton. She didn't think Sutton was racist. You can tell from the beginning.
I
Did not a step change. So I didn't really feel that her concern regarding that was actually even genuine. It was just a way to bust Crystal out, take her position, and now she's friends with Kyle and all the girls, and she's not, and Garcelle's not on the outside like she was last year at the table, walking away crying. So at the end of the day, I think that's what she did. Okay, that's my opinion.
I can agree with you.
Okay.
I think the
Can
only
I say something? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go for
Sure,
it.
jump
No, you
in.
can go.
I was gonna say I think the only reason that Garcelle is not as much of on the outside as she was because I think Black Twitter got in all of their tails with Kyle and Renna. I think that they know that they have to tread more lightly because the way she carried herself. I think she is able to make her points without being aggressive and going too hard. And I think now they're like, we can't really go at her the way we were, so we have to. I don't even think she's on the inside with them. I think that they just keep her at bay, but are very mindful about what they say to her. So I can see what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Colby. I just think that Sutton, the Crystal girl, I think she saw the way she was moving and was like, and I do believe that she did have those conversations with Sutton off camera and was
Right.
like, now what really actually happened? What is this girl talking about? That's what I think.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Nick.
Right.
I was just gonna say, like, well, the one part was that I agreed with you 2%. We all went through this when the whole violation thing, and I think ultimately that a lot of people don't bring up is the fact that regardless of whether it was validated for her to say that because that's how she felt, at the end of the day, that is still not an appropriate. It didn't really match what was going on, regardless if that's her disease had her interpreting it that way and that made it valid. And at the end of the day, she was using an extreme word on television to describe a woman, and it was just a lot, and she didn't acknowledge that, and she kept saying, well, oh well,
because
it's what I thought.
Because
And
it
it's
wasn't.
just like,
How I felt. That's how I felt.
it's what I
The
felt. But I'm like, but
dictionary
you're also
says-
saying, you're like saying a word and that word does have weight and you're saying on national television and you're not explaining yourself either. So you're just leaving the audience to like assume the worst. That was irresponsible.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
one
I
thing
know.
I
But
can
are we
say
not
is
gonna discuss the fact that her husband literally called her out? She
Oh,
keeps
yeah,
saying that
mine.
she had
Yeah,
that
I'm
she
confused.
Oh
had
yeah. He's like,
I'm
honey,
health since
he's
she
like,
was
honey, why don't you get
13
treatment
since she was
finally? And I'm
13
like,
years
He was
old.
like, if this is
And
he said, if this is such a thing.
so
Well, it
that's
was
the thing that
confusing because
trips me
last
out.
year. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's the thing that trips me out. The fact that her husband, who I truly believe is genuinely just a nice guy, he
Yeah.
found himself a young escort from the agency who was willing to jump into that
he
Stepford
says
wife
it dead
role.
seriously.
And, they've made two beautiful children and they have a beautiful family. I
With
do
smart mouth.
honestly think that everything that woman tells him about herself, he believes. I don't get anything unauthentic about her husband. But with her, I just feel like she's very crafty.
My
I actually
antennas tingling.
believe she told
Same.
Erica that, well, first she said she did not want to discuss the fact that she was binging and purging when somebody was
What she
pressing her
talking
on
about?
it. Then she said to Dorit, who she doesn't feel safe with, she was binging and purging every day. Then she tells Erica she's not actually sought treatment for it. Then she tells the audience
That
that
she
she has
has.
in the after show.
Since
Then
she's
her
been
husband comes
13,
back
yeah.
and says it's time for you to actually get treatment. So
It's like, come
Yeah,
on,
why would you
girl.
bet on that? Like, why?
Mhm.
I can see the
It's like
confusion.
8
Her
different
husband came
stories. Like,
last
what's
episode.
going on?
let's get a
Like,
flow
I've
chart.
seen that
Can
thing before, though. I've
You'll
seen
see
that
the
before
arrows
because
just going in a circle.
can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's like a light today.
Crystal has a lot of issues. Okay. She has a lot of issues stemming from being a child of an immigrant and da 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 da. And watching her father being a hate crime being performed on him and all of that. She has a lot of issues. I don't think this was the right show for her. I think she's quietly crafting an image of a perfect person, but now there's cracks. So now she lied. Maybe she lied about her situation. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. But she's not keeping up with the story that she's crafted, and it's time for her to go.
Yeah.
But on the fact of her being violated, she was violated. And it's not a strong word to say, because if you walk into someone's
Right.
bedroom and they didn't tell you to come in, it's a violation.
Well, Kathy did the
have an
same
eating
thing to someone
disorder.
else.
I don't have, that's how she felt. That was how she felt in the moment, and that's what she thought, and
She
that's
did it to her
how
sister.
she interpreted it.
But-
I have been violated, and if you had walked in my room without me telling you to come in, first I would have slapped the crap out you. Then I would have felt violated.
But I
So
never
you
said
can't
that
tell
wasn't
her how to-
valid.
you
I was
can't
just
tell her how to
saying,
do
at
it.
least also acknowledge, that
That
could have
wasn't too
been
strong.
it on for television when you're just
No.
leaving the audience to assume the worst.
No.
I'll say this. I think that the general consensus about men is that men are super comfortable. They'll be naked all the time. Doesn't really matter, right? But
Right.
that's not.
And women do that. And if
I
you have
don't.
an issue,
Women too.
I
Hold
don't.
on,
bring it up.
Let me just get this point
Bring it
out.
up. Hey, I don't come
I
in my
think-
room. I'm not like you girls are all big slumber partying.
Come
Don't
on.
come in my room. Thanks.
It's
I'm
Bye.
just saying, hold on one
Problem
second.
solved.
I think that the general consensus about men is that men are very comfortable. You got locker room stuff. But I know for a fact, because I work out all the time, there are some men that are comfortable being naked in front of other people, and there's some men who will change in their shower stall. There's some men who will wrap that towel around themselves and make sure that when they put their underwear on, they got a towel on. Not everybody is comfortable with nudity. So for that, I really don't want to get into the whole violation issue. But I do think that if somebody feels violated in that instance, I'm not going to tell them that they weren't. Just off
Right,
respect
exactly.
for your
I think
personal
the
boundaries.
strong-
What about this?
I'm not saying that they're not.
Okay, when we look at Atlanta, and I don't know who watches Atlanta here, but this past when they were at Blue Ridge and Kenya came in the morning, she was opening everybody's doors like, "Hey, good morning," and Drew was in the bed on the phone with her husband Ralph, Apollo 2.0. So it's like,
Oh.
you know what I mean? It's to me, it's like when you're on a
Production
girl.
was already there, though.
Uh-huh.
Production was there, though. Like, production was already there. When that thing happened,
And I think that
Those are
10%
people.
if any of them had said, I don't feel comfortable with Kenya doing that, that's their right to do in that moment.
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to go
But
back
that was
for
a
the
different
violation.
relationship. That was a
I didn't
different
mean to go back for
relationship.
that.
But y'all,
Okay,
let's
yeah,
not
I
talk
didn't
about the
mean-
violations.
Yeah, I didn't mean to open up that can of worms.
Let's talk
to be
about
honest.
Garcelle, who led
She
the
better watch
night.
her back, ma'am. She
Go
better
for
watch
it,
her
Janice.
back
Where
with
you
her
at?
friend. Okay, with her friend, Cherie wants
Yeah.
that diamond,
Yeah.
and she finna cross that girl
Say
out
it.
for that diamond. She better watch her.
Yeah.
Yep.
She better watch her.
Janice, did you
She
see where
already
she gave
put
that
it-
interview?
She's willing to do a lot for that diamond, you could tell.
She is.
I can't hear
And
you.
the way
Which,
she crossed Sutton now too.
Mm-hmm.
you are you talking about the interview? Because that was one of the
Yes.
stuff. That was one of
Yep.
the things I forgot to talk about at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Do you want to tell them, or you want me to tell them?
You can tell them.
Okay, so what Janice is talking about is Cherie has been given interviews. The problem is if she doesn't mention somebody else, nobody cares. So the first part of the interview was all about her saying that she wouldn't do the show without Jada. I mean, she would never do the show if Jada came on. First off, they wouldn't care about Cherie if Jada came on.
Exactly.
Like she's a friend of the show. We don't even know if she's getting the diamond. But the second part of that is what Janice is talking about. She literally said in the interview that it was almost like a talking point for the Fox Force 5.
Yep.
She said, well, I don't think that the rest of the girls are able to really get to know Garcelle because of Sutton. And I'm looking at it like,
Yep.
you are just her friend. If my friend did an interview admonishing my other friend, we would have a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Big time.
So Denise, go ahead.
I would have called her and be like, girl, what are you doing?
I wouldn't.
During the interview.
Yeah.
I would.
Ma'am.
I would.
Like I said, she is really pushing hard to get that diamond, and she will cross she will go against Garcelle.
Yep.
And go to she might be the fifth for the Fox 5. Y'all.
She's trying out as we
hope
speak,
not.
maybe.
Yeah.
So Denise, do you think that she
She's
really
getting
is
hazed
selling
in the
fake
group right now.
bags? Janice,
She ain't.
you think that her bags are real?
Oh.
My shoes real, so I don't put nothing past people. Yeah.
What I did not like was Cherie did a post where she was quoting Bible verses and how people should bless other people, and then she put her Cash App on it.
I've never seen her do that.
But
What's
man,
up?
okay.
I
Do
can't.
y'all, I don't know if y'all used to watch, but did any of y'all watch the little show that she was on at first?
Yeah, Hollywood
Mhm.
Wives.
I did.
Hollywood
Sneaky,
Exes.
sneaky,
Oh, Hollywood
sneaky,
Exes.
sneaky.
Yeah.
That's a very sneaky bitch. I mean, I'm sorry. It's a very sneaky
I think
bitch.
you're fine with it.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, man, watch her.
I think Garcelle peeps her game too, though. I think Garcelle peeps her too. I think that's why they're not filming as much with her. That's why you don't see her.
But you see, she comes.
She had the C-19. That's why.
Yeah.
She wasn't filming.
She's coming without Garcelle. She wants that diamond. She wants to take that.
I hope they give it
She's
to
ready
her.
to take Garcelle's spot if she could.
No, she's trying to take Sutton's spot.
Why do you want her
We
to
need more
take
from
it
her.
to her?
We need. I say keep her as a friend of the show next season because she's not really like. I
And
remember
neither is
her on
Diana
Hollywood Exes.
with the diamond.
And the only I remember really quick on Sheree. I remember her on Hollywood Exes, and people argued me down. They said when she would get fired up, she was great. But the thing is, I'm not that interested in her life.
Right.
Outside of the Will Smith connection, which has been dead for years, unless she's going to talk to us about the slap, I don't see anything new that she's bringing. In terms of Diana, I don't like Diana, but I call a spade a spade. I'm a straight shooter. Diana
Pow,
came
pow.
with money and she came with celebrity friends, and that's why Diana got the diamond. Sheree doesn't have that. She has the Will Smith connection, but her son she's off child support. So her money is her money now. It's not Will Smith's money. So she's beautiful. I like her as Garcelle's friend, but she really needs to learn how to do a proper interview and not say anything negative about her friend.
Right?
But it was so confusing to me because the fact is, I thought she was a good choice because for me, because I know like Carlos King said that he thinks Garcelle and Sutton's friendship is an alliance. When I'm just like, they were hanging out and they brought in the New Year's together. And also like when we saw like, flashbacks of Garcelle hanging out, she was introducing Sutton to all of her Black friends. So it is confusing to me that Cherie is saying this now.
Because Cherie don't like
Well,
that.
can I finish? Because, I have to jump in too sometimes. The thing is, though, is that she introduced, like, Garcelle actually had introduced Sutton into her actual life. But when we opened up this season, Garcelle was getting an award for charity work. And who was with her in Miami visiting with her family? Sutton. And so for me, it is weird that you come on the show and you have been only to a few things. And all of a sudden now you're saying, Sutton, I didn't say the word liability, but I can see why the women don't get close to her. Why are you pretending like these women ever liked Garcelle enough to get close to her? Her and Erica were the only ones who were kind of close out of that group. Garcelle never thought for Kyle. Garcelle thought Dorit dressed cute. And her and Erica had a budding friendship. But then Erica decided to be an unnecessary liar. And then she saw her be a bully. And so it is weird that Cherie all of a sudden is saying, it's like she's helping the Fox Force like get rid of Sutton on her side. That way, I feel like it's almost like Kyle promised her Sutton's diamond.
Yeah, like she was prompted. That's what I think too.
Who promised
Cherie
Diamond?
doesn't like Sutton. I don't like Sutton. I think Sutton is racist adjacent. Y'all can argue me down all y'all want.
Okay.
I think she is racist adjacent. I get that vibe from her. Kyle and Kathy are racist adjacent. Renna, Dorit, all of them. All
I
of
don't
them.
think Diana.
I think Ren is outwardly
Frankly,
And
racist.
I
Diana
don't
is
think Diana.
definitely racist.
Yeah.
Diana
She's
is
not adjacent. She is. She
no.
Yeah.
is.
She also has a scuffle with her neighbor and the bodyguard. There's a whole thing like
Yeah.
that too.
That I do
Yeah,
remember.
she doesn't like to be challenged by melanated people.
Nope.
Nope.
Well,
Sure
she seems
don't.
to treat
She has
the
a
girl
history.
really nicely. Her son's girlfriend. She seems very
He
comfortable
doesn't
there,
like
and
her.
that wasn't fake. She had her foot on her
Well,
couch. Her son was rubbing her feet like that, and this was already
She
Oh my
recorded.
doesn't like
God,
that
Like she
girl.
can't,
that's
She doesn't like
insane.
that girl.
and she
You
was
well,
at
know
all
how
the
Because
many
he is
parties.
racist
black
people
and
side with black
influential
people?
from
and
India.
I didn't even
He does
notice
not
that.
like that girl.
Someone
I'm
was
telling
zooming
you.
in. I'm just
She
kidding.
doesn't like that girl.
and
We
she's
remember a lot
biracial
of
and things for
slaveholders
money. Like Ava
that
has
got a lot of mixed
I
children.
mean, it's like you're in
Yes,
my head.
please,
It's like
thank
you're
you.
in my head. In a
I'm
way.
just saying I didn't get that energy. I'm just
Y'all
saying
know
You
it
know
that
could
what?
be a
I
Though?
language
do.
barrier.
You know, she might think that she's one of the good ones because her father's a celebrity, like a major
Uh-huh.
and her mother
celebrity.
And
is
her mother
Indian.
is a celebrity as well.
And not
She's
Who,
black.
a fashion
Diana?
designer.
Oh no,
The
you're right.
She's a
girlfriend.
fashion
Ava
designer.
or whatever her name.
hmm
What's her name? Ava.
Rachel Roy.
Ava, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
Rachel was
Rachel.
her mama?
Rachel
Yeah,
Roy
Yeah.
Yep.
is
and
Ava's
Damon
mother.
Dash.
Yeah, I knew Dane,
hmm
but I didn't know she
So
was
she
her
might
Yeah,
be perfectly fine having the biracial child sit on her couch, not a full black one. So that might be the difference.
mama.
exactly.
And she
It's,
knows.
it's
Solange
that
is
Yeah.
somewhere
Indian from
saying,
India that's in
Solange
there.
is somewhere saying, somebody said
hmm
Rachel Roy.
Oh my God.
Because y'all
She
know,
was
for those
Solange
of
is
you guys who
triggered right
don't
now.
know, for those of you guys who don't know, the fight in the elevator where Solange beat up Jay-Z was
hmm
triggered because Jay-Z was having an extended conversation with Rachel Roy, and it was
Who used to be
rumored
Becky with the good hair.
Allegedly,
that
yeah, she was Becky
Rachel
with the good
Roy
hair.
was the Becky with the good hair who he had cheated
hmm
on Beyonce with. So that's why he got slapped upside the elevator by Solange.
That ain't
Okay, side
that ain't the
note,
first woman Jay-Z and Dane shared, you know.
Oh yeah.
Blue
Aaliyah too,
Chantel.
Then
right?
I had a point of when you're talking about like the personal story. I feel like we have the other women on the show to blame for that because I don't necessarily think that some of the women are trying to hide their personal story. I think that the women who kind of have their ear in production have gotten production so used to not really sharing it because it was like the Christmas episode, no Thanksgiving when Garcelle and Crystal were like doing the charity work. I was like, I wonder how these two get together and go because Garcelle she said she went since the boys were 5. But I'm like, well, how did you end up with Crystal? That would have been nice to see, or like I would have liked to see
Oh
more
yeah, they probably bumped
of.
into each other there.
Yeah, but Mim is saying that the personal story, like I would like to see more of Garcelle hang out with her family in Miami, getting her charity award, and something happened went with her there. So I don't necessarily know if it's not. I don't know if it's 50-50, like the woman and production, or if it's just production cutting those scenes as well.
I think it would have been cool if they did a crossover and had Garcelle with that woman from Miami, Gertie, do
Gertie.
something
Mm.
for Haiti. I thought that would have been a cool crossover.
So yeah, that was like my only point of contention because I think it's like because also like Kyle doesn't really give us anything personal. She shows us this picture perfect family. I think that's only because she knows how terrible she is to her actual like her sisters, so she has to make sure this one looks perfect. But I think it's just that Beverly Hills has gotten so used to none of the women really having a personal storyline,
This
and
picture
then the only
perfect
time
family.
Everything
on
Kathy
the
taught Kyle to do.
surface, on
That's
the
what me and
surface,
Kathy taught Kyle to do. Hide
What,
it.
what is the origin of that? Because I
it's
don't
just a
know.
tease.
Oh, I forgot to say it. Crazy Days and Nights confirmed the housewife that he mentioned in that leak and that one whatever it's blind is Dorit. He called her
I don't really
snack
believe
food
that.
housewife.
A who?
He uses like terms to describe. He goes a literate one when it's like Meghan Markle, and he used a housewife whose name is a snack food is the housewife. Who else? Dorito. Hello.
But I mean, what was
Marissa's a
the
cheater, but maybe
item?
not that one.
No, he didn't say who she was cheating with or what husband, but he confirmed it was her. She's the one he's referring to in that blind.
I can believe it.
You can
The
believe
story behind
We don't
it.
know it's Mo though, but
I did a
just
video
assume.
on it 2% a couple videos ago. It's a short one, but basically Dana Wilkie. Actually, no, my YouTube buddy. His name is Karen Huger's Wig. He did a really funny video about Kyle, Mauricio, Dorit, and what triggered me was I saw Dorit kiss Mauricio on the shoulder during the robbery, but
That triggered me too.
It was sensual.
It didn't.
That triggered me
It
too.
didn't trigger me till I saw it on his video, and he was like, you know, they always make eyes at each other and stuff like that, and it's very intimate to kiss somebody on
Yeah,
their
it gave me a
shoulder.
very
Uh-huh.
sensual.
Did
Yeah.
Kyle
And
see this?
he
Yeah,
did
Kyle
he
seen
did
it.
a video on it, and
She
then
was
people
right there.
did this. They made this thing an affair to remember, and then Dana Wilkie, a former cast member, ran with the story, and Dorit saw her post it, and then Dorit went off on her, and it was like a whole
Which
thing.
is stupid because that's the reason why ET and everyone else picked it up. She should have left it be because Dana Wilkie was joking, and then Dorit just had to respond, and it blew it up.
Because
Dana
They make
was
a good.
serious.
PK
They
She
make a
was
hates
good
not joking.
couple.
She was
PK
serious.
hates Dana.
No, I watched her video. She
Believe
said she was
more
literally
Mauricio
joking.
and PK before
Do you
I
guys
She told
remember the
y'all she
first
was
season during
joking.
the white party where this crazy drunk blonde lady was hanging all over her mouth? Oh my God, and Kyle ran up like no tomorrow, shoved her.
Mhm.
She was like a
Like
little
she was the Black
torpedo.
Widow.
And Mo just looked high and was just like, and meanwhile, like Kyle was literally about to body slam her,
And that's when I said, "Oh, he a cheater."
right? Because
I
he started
peeped Mo a
giggling and
long time
laughing,
ago.
like he liked it. He
Mhm.
almost got, it seemed like he got off on his wife getting jealous.
His daddy liked that too. That's why him and his mama ain't together.
Not he get it from
Or
his daddy.
something
Y'all
else.
are.
I'm telling you, because his dad kissed Kyle right in the mouth
Oh,
at
Lord.
Hanukkah. I'm telling
No.
you. I'm
My
telling you.
God.
First of all,
Yes.
this picture though. Okay.
That was right after
Maurice-
the scandal
That is
came
so
out
funny.
with the
Look,
transvestites.
he's looking
Um,
at the camera. He's like, oh, they're looking at us. Here, let me grab her right butt cheek.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He's
this
not even
came out.
grabbing her cheek. It's like he's in the middle of the crack. Like he's
Right? Yeah, he's pulling toilet paper out. Like, it's ridiculous.
Or like what I just told you guys earlier, when Whitney would be constipated, Bobby would go in and manually remove it.
Yikes.
Oh my God, what is
Thanks a
happening?
lot. I can't get that out of my head now.
You're going to need trauma therapy.
It's the Patron. I'm
Mims.
sorry.
Yeah, so wild.
It happened. I watched Being Bobby Brown.
Oh my God,
I
I
hope,
missed this.
like, I
I
need
missed
to
this.
know that
Well,
he
hopefully
wore
he used his
gloves.
pinky.
Oh.
Corey,
No,
did you
Whitney was so upset when that happened. She was like, "Shut up, Bobby, shut up, shut up."
I mean, that is love, though.
I don't want that kind of love.
Yeah, I love my husband that much.
Mim's like, call the nurse, you sicko.
Anyway, guys, this has been real. Any final closing thoughts?
Keep it up, Garcelle.
I want to hear. Did Corey say that Mauricio's dad kissed Kyle on the lips? Did
I
hear-
sure
On the
did.
mouth.
During Hanukkah.
He got in there.
Like on the Housewives
That's
episode, like I can
disgusting.
rewind it.
Wait, what?
It is the episode when the faux robbery happened.
Yeah, he did. He
Oh,
looked like
this
he went in for the
season.
kill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the shoulder kissing was this. Okay, good. Now I
It was
gotta-
this season too, and Kyle and TK were right there doing a group hug, honey.
That's too much.
I'm waiting on the reunion.
Same, Janice.
I'm
Yep.
waiting on the reunion.
Somebody's trying to get in. Who's trying to get in? As we're closing. Hey,
Lisa!
Me, I'm
Hey,
Queen.
No, it's somebody else is trying to get in.
Hey,
too.
Lily.
Hey, Boo. How you doing? Hey, Corey. Hey,
Hey.
Natasha. Hey, Mills. Hey,
Hey.
Tim Garcelle. I am so sorry. I am late, y'all. I've been on the board channel, and I know my girl, I know Mills and Diva gonna whoop me because I ain't over here.
No.
I'm just gonna say too
No, I
much.
love
She just
both
gonna,
Diva.
she just gonna
This
cut
show
me
was
down
just
for a
too
little
hot. I
while.
think we're all on.
But I know Diva gonna whoop me because she said I put her last.
I prefer to go to Mims reviews because my blood pressure isn't risen when I leave.
Mims has a calming effect.
No,
The boy loves to challenge
that
you.
one
But
time
I
I
say,
fell
like,
asleep
I
for like
mean-
an hour.
I'm
was
leaving
like,
that
oh,
Like
one
no.
alone.
last night,
So I
I
gotta choose
really
my
give it
piece.
to my girl. I'm just gonna say it like that. I really give it to my girl Garcelle. I mean, you know, she was kind of come, but they also showed that she was lying too. You know what I'm saying? They did throw
When was
flags.
she
About
lying?
When did she lie?
Lisa dropping bombs
Wait a minute. When did she
on
lie?
her way out.
Team
Yes,
Garcelle's
she
blood
did.
pressure going up.
Yeah, like
When
for
did
real,
she
what
lie,
you talking
Lisa?
about?
What did she lie about?
When she said she didn't do something, I forget. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
I
Well,
said,
Lisa!
Hold on, just a quick,
Really?
Lisa. Lisa
I'm
is
for
giving us.
don't y'all remember they
Lisa,
showed those
You should have
flashbacks
wrote it
on
down.
ABC? And
hold
I
on one
promise you,
second, y'all.
my
Lisa, you're
because
giving
we
us
can go
leg
back and
tips and
forth over
body
there.
tonight. You're
I
giving us
know,
all
see?
A little
shoulder.
off the shoulder.
What is
Yeah,
going
A little come
yeah,
hither.
Speaking of sensual.
yeah.
No, Lisa, you know who was
Hey,
lying?
what's up, man?
Rena, when she was
I
talking
probably can
about the
find me
whole
a
come
man on
from
here.
love
Like, what's
thing.
up? I
Lisa,
probably
Rena
find me a
was the
man.
one that was
Okay.
lying, talking about come from love, and Garcelle was being aggressive when she was looking in the mirror
And
when she was saying that, but trying to deflect.
Shut
That's
Yes,
who
she
was
was
lying.
the Elba was kind of deflect yesterday. I mean, because I went back and I watched it again because I said on the lean that I gave it a 3, then I went back and I watched it again, and I said I give it a 8 this time.
I give this episode a 10.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah, it
was
was
from
good.
beginning
Yeah,
to
I liked
end.
it.
It's
They could
pretty
have
good,
cut
yeah.
Kyle's scenes out with her family,
Right?
but other than
Don't
that,
care
I
about
liked
that.
it.
Why does
Don't
Farrah
care
look
about
like
that.
she 55?
Oh, I was just
That hair
thinking
is so
about
limp
that.
and thin.
Old.
Is she
looks
getting
Yeah.
very old.
alopecia?
Oh my God.
Oh, what are y'all
Yeah.
doing?
No,
Okay.
Now,
No,
you
I
did
agree.
interviews,
She
man.
looks
look
a
like
little
that.
limp
I'm
for
not
real.
joking, but I'm not
None of
joking.
the
Like
Hilton
she
interviews.
looked like maybe does
None
she
of
have
them.
an illness?
But her
No.
dad is
Oh, don't
old
say
though. Her
that.
dad is old
Yes,
though
larger
too.
curve. Sorry, she said Garcelle
So
is
because the
old.
dad got an old face, Janice, she got an
So
old
now she
face.
gotta
What are
have.
You
y'all
know
saying?
that man was.
She looked
I
haggard
thought
last.
She
She
looks
looked
Mauricio has
haggard.
aged
very old. She
decently.
looks like she's like 45, a good
She looked
hard
older than
45.
her mom.
Yeah, she did.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
Or
Yes.
about the same. Or like she at least has 3 kids already and one
For,
divorce.
Definitely looks like
That
she's
are
for her,
that are in
for
high
her
school.
is like
Y'all are
definitely looks like
destroying this
forehead.
she's
girl.
48.
Now, what
Who
did
y'all
Farrah
got
do to
like that?
y'all?
From her forehead,
What did?
I was
She
like,
looks
who is
tired.
Huh?
Her dad got money. I'm trying to find his phone number. Shoot.
Oh.
He got an island, okay?
Oh
Wait,
no, you
what?
might want to stay away from those islands, girl.
Yeah, okay.
I heard they're not good.
Long
Yeah.
as I can sell it, I don't care.
Kyle said that she
There's gonna be some
basically
selling
alluded to
going
the
on.
fact that he never got over the divorce with her, and he's never remarried after her.
Oh.
Girl, bye.
Mhm.
I'm gonna need her not to take so
I
much
can tell you
credit.
why they did. I can tell you. I can give you one good guess why they are not together and why she broke his heart. I can tell
Why?
you one good
What?
reason why.
He didn't want her to get a
Big
nose
Cat,
job.
no. Big Kathy looked at him and was like, mm-mm. He a little dark.
Oh yeah, they weren't happy
He a
with him.
little dark.
Oh,
He a little dark.
oh.
Same with Mauricio, but also
They
we were
didn't like
saying Mauricio
Mauricio
isn't white.
either. Big
And
Kathy didn't like
Mauricio is
Mauricio
They
either.
Russian.
they didn't like Mauricio because he was Jewish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Jewish Russian. His last name is Umansky.
Yeah, so that also
Wait,
confuses me why
no.
she keeps.
According to Kyle, it's her Latin lover.
He
Yeah,
has
no, that
church
always
in
annoys
Please,
him.
his
me.
family
He's a
immigrated
Russian
to
Jew.
yeah.
Yeah,
His
during
mother makes sure to
World
know
War
that
II.
they're white. His mother went on the
During
internet
World War
making sure
II.
that they knew that they were white. So I don't want anything to know Latin lover.
Because
And I'm
remember
glad I
the
said
prince
that
that was on there?
because I don't want
The
nobody in the
prince.
Jewish
Which
community
Yeah.
to me like
Remember
that.
when
I mean,
his
that's what
mom
it
was
is.
trying to hook Camille up with the prince
No.
at what's the Palms casino woman? She was doing some kind of
Adrian
magic.
Malou.
Oh, Adrian.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That was their cousin. He was a prince of some kind of German country or something.
Lord, he looks so high.
Ooh.
Some kind of
Right?
German principality. He was a prince of.
He looks so stoned.
Right?
Oh
He
my
stays
god.
stoned, honey.
I mean, but just look like it's look like
He looks like he's been
he just
hitting the
put the roll
ganja since the
down.
jump.
I
Uh-huh.
think they made a perfect couple.
What?
That's her face. Something about it scares me.
Oh my
But she
God.
do
And
look
Kyle
like
smokes
she's
too.
so.
Remember when
Now that's
Yeah,
how
that
old
picture
Brandy
that
told
she
to Kyle
had.
smoke?
Say
Wait,
that
I
again,
just
Colby.
She got rid of that nose.
Remember when Brandy told on What Will Happen Live that Kyle smoked and Kyle got pissed? Remember she was
Oh
saying,
yeah,
Oh
the last
yeah.
time I got some grass was from you. And
Mm-hmm.
we found out that Kyle smoked, what, like 5 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, I
So we
remember
weren't
that.
seeing
When
yeah.
it
Kelsey
came
by
back from
himself.
Amsterdam.
There was one point that I forgot to mention that really like pissed me off. So Dorit fixed
Yes.
her mouth to talk about Garcelle laughing when Kathy was saying homeless and toothless. But Mauricio and Kyle were at her dinner table laughing in
Dying.
front of the charity's face, and she didn't say nothing.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Not a word.
The
Dorit is
hypocrisy.
very comfortable also mocking Garcelle Garcelle's the only
She's
person for
quick
some
to
reason
correct
that
her.
repeats what she says, and for some reason it's always extra sassy and extra what she thinks a black woman is. The fact that she sat there and was swiveling her neck and pointing her finger and acting like Garcelle was yelling, "Don't be Kyle," and then we see the flashback, and literally her arms are down. She's like, "Don't be Kyle, don't be Kyle." The fact that she did that and she keeps doing that every time she tries to parry it as Garcelle makes me side eye her. And also, can we talk about how
Racist
PK has 3 other kids that they never talk about?
And this is why Garcelle has to watch how she moves because of slick stuff like
Are
that.
they're
Yeah.
older kids, right?
Yeah,
Kyle?
but I still find it strange, like how you said personal life. At least even on Real House of Potomac, I don't like them heifers because they creep me out. But at least we know that Michael has 2 other kids, and at least Ashley says my stepkids. It's so weird to me that I just found out that he has 3 other kids, and they never talk about how she has stepchildren.
They might be
Because the other
embarrassed.
kids don't want to be known on
They
TV.
might be
That's why.
embarrassed of PK and
But
Dorit,
but
and
that's
they
my
probably
whole point.
Are they
Like
in the
that's
States or
weird.
in the UK?
It's true. Then he must be embarrassing to be embarrassed by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's weird. Because we've never even heard a whiff. I don't know what Michael's kids look like, but at least I heard that there was a child, and at least I heard that at least Ashley hung out with him once at their little defunct kangaroo restaurant.
Oh my God.
But I just
Actually,
I
this
knew
is a
nothing
restaurant
about that this
before.
man had older children. I thought these 2 little cherubs were the only ones. He has 3 other kids.
Cherubs.
Don't you have a blended family? What's
They
happening
do
here?
look like cherubs.
Phoenix
They're in
has the
trouble.
best sense out of all them people in that house. She's the smartest one out of all them people in that house.
Phoenix.
I would have got
Mhm.
I would have got popped in my mouth if I talked to my mama the way that she was talking to PK.
I sure would have, but she said, "Now if she breaks her neck, it's all your fault." I said, "Dang!"
I
Out of the
mean,
mouth of
Her
babes.
kids are adorable though. Her son
yeah.
reciting
But yeah,
the
no.
Hanukkah, I thought that was pretty awesome
I'm
too.
gonna tell y'all this, okay?
Yeah, her
I
kids are
know.
cute.
I'm gonna tell y'all
They
this.
are.
You know me.
Y'all talk about
I'm gonna tell y'all this on here, and I am so tired of this. And I hate to say to see because I'm so much like a bore. Okay,
Oh
now
no.
listen. I
Uh
may
oh.
admit, Garcelle has a long career, being an actress,
Oh my
and
God,
a mom, and all that right
Christ.
there. Yes, she do. Because I remember she's on Family Matter. After one put out to a girl that she's in Playboy magazine, who
Mm-hmm.
told her all of that. Okay, and I
Hmm.
do agree with Lisa Renner. Like
This is a
if you
build
come
up.
at
Uh oh.
her, listen. That I said, just listen, please do.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If you come hard at her, it gonna come off as racist and some kind
Wait.
of fact. But like I be telling everybody, just be yourself on the show. And I'm
But
so much
Garcelle
like
can't
a
be
horse,
herself
and
on
they
that
don't
show
have nothing to do with her
100%.
waist. She raised that paddle and she did not pay that money.
Oh my God, this
They
title
have
Oh
situation.
no.
No,
Y'all
no,
are
no,
Not
driving
no,
me
the
no,
insane.
paddle.
no,
And
I
no, no, no.
can't. I
They
can't.
have
not the
nothing.
paddle.
No, no, no,
Lisa.
no, 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 no. They have nothing to
the
do
board?
with waist. They had nothing to do with waist. They did not have nothing to do with waist. She raised that paddle and she did not pay that bill.
Lisa.
And Cal brought it up at the reunion when brought it up at the reunion when God said was trying to go hard and she said, "No, you did not pay for the donation you made."
That
So
was a microaggression.
so
Oh,
that next season, last season, on the
Yeah, it
first
was.
episode, she brought it. They sit down, talk. She said, "Well, I had moved," and she kind of make it a wasting. It was not no wasting, and like of course said, she raised that paddle, and you did not pay that bill.
Okay.
And
Let's
so
talk
you
about
know
how she
what?
was with
That's
her
what it
friend
is.
and her friend was being
And but
chased around for
I
owing
ain't
money to her
gonna
business
get
partner
back
and
on
she
because
never
I
brought it
know
up.
myself.
Let's talk about
Ooh,
how
yes.
Mauricio has been sued
No,
left and right
yeah,
and they
I
Black
never
think
talk
business
that.
about
partner.
it.
Fire.
Let's talk about how they knew about Erica's financial issues and she never brought up a word about this money.
and she
Let's talk about all of them having financial issues and you knew that you
Mm-hmm.
said this security, you sent me an invoice to the wrong address and you knew about it
Mm-hmm.
for how many months and you never said anything, but
and
yet
you
you
Yep.
didn't
want to
even
hear
call
about
me
this
on the phone
security.
and tell me.
You
Hold
use
on,
it
one
for
at
a
a
petty
time.
drama.
No. You
So
can't.
please get out my face with
We're
that
not
one.
talking about. We're not talking about Erica. We're not talking about that. I'm getting tired of people saying that if you come out the
Because
God's
Kai
cell,
would never
you
do
got
that
to
to
be
anyone
racist,
else.
That
and
was a
it's
That's
not
the
the right
point.
microaggression.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
she
I
would
But
never
like
do
understand
it
in
to
what
some
you're
Never
anyone.
do that to
instances, it
anyone else.
is.
Lisa
Yeah.
Winter
That
is
was a
saying.
microaggression. Big
Understand what
time.
Don't.
Lisa
And you know
Winter
Okay.
why
is saying
Garcelle's in
because
charge of
like
the
what
show?
you
Because
said,
Garcelle refused to.
if you
Garcelle
come to
requested to have a
One at a
conversation.
time.
people gonna
I'm trying to
say
talk.
it's racist. And it's not racist.
It
You
is.
did not pay
It
that
was
bill,
big
but you
racist.
raised a hand for that paddle.
Implying a black person does not pay a bill is not racist, and
That's
you've never
Oh
talked about
Lord.
anyone
big
else having
racist.
financial issues beforehand.
Yeah.
Well,
And the
y'all are
fact is,
doing
Garcelle said
something
she refused to
That's a
film the show
microaggression.
until she
Yep.
talked to Kyle.
because this
They made
backstage
sure
is
that.
blowing up.
I'm
If
What are
sorry.
you?
if she
No.
meant well with it, she would have called her on the phone and said, "Hey, listen, I just want to make sure that we're on
Behind the
same page."
scenes, exactly.
Yeah, like because if it was about the charity and if it was about good intentions, she would have came at her like woman to woman and said, "Hey, listen, I'm doing all the bookings and or like I'm going through all the books and I'm noticing that I don't know if something happened, but I don't want to do this and bring it up on camera. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm on the same page. You're saying this, but I don't see it. So I hope you didn't write the wrong name on a check and it went somewhere else." That's what I would have done and said, "Listen,
She chose to embarrass her instead.
Instead, she put her on Front
But
Street
I don't
on
believe
TV,
it.
and
I mean, I don't
she's
believe
been
it's
on TV
racist.
10+ years.
I
She
don't
knows
believe
what
it's
she's
racist.
doing.
Everything somebody say, God said, don't have to be racist.
But can I make
But
this
that
point?
It doesn't
Can
have
I
to
make
Hold
this
on,
point?
you guys, really, really quickly, because we've been on for a while.
I know we
What
have.
we like the back, Lisa, you have come in and lit this up. So there's somebody backstage. Does anybody mind dropping down for a moment? So
Okay,
I can go ahead and drop right
I
now.
can be ready to go.
I can do it.
I'll go ahead and drop this.
I love you, darling. I love you.
Okay, okay. Whoever's backstage, it looks like there's multiple people.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and go
Brian,
as well. Nice talking to everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll
I
go
always
too.
appreciate
Nice
your
talking to
input,
y'all.
Colby.
All right, Tosh.
Can you
Later.
drop me how to get out myself?
Thanks for coming,
It was
Super
nice
Cent.
to
I'll drop
see
you
you.
down.
You are beautiful.
Me.
She's beautiful.
Curves, I see you backstage, but okay, now you're
Hi,
ready.
can you hear me
Is
now?
your head exploding? And y'all leave my boy Gabor alone. I see y'all in the chat. Gabor is not here to defend himself. Leave my boy Gabor alone. Where you at, Curves?
Oh my God, I was so thankful that Garcelle's delayed response syndrome didn't kick in last night, and she
No.
was ready on the ones and twos, wasn't she?
Amen.
Yes, she
Appreciated
was.
that.
She really
And
was.
right? And she was the best dressed. I am so offended by the amount of bronzer Lisa Renault had on her ass. I am like, oh my God. And then she had the nerve to say she was Donna Summer. Pick Olivia.
I missed that.
But she changed
Yeah,
it to
no, she
share.
literally put under the picture when her and Erica first posted the picture of it. They said Olivia Newton-John and Jerry Hall. Remember, Jerry Hall was married to like somebody, right?
Yeah, Mick Jagger.
That was what the caption was on the picture on both their social medias. And then the backlash happened because look, she's darker than Garcelle. She's darker than Marie. That's blackface, y'all. And she already been out with pictured with a Nazi when Harry was wearing the
Oh,
SWAT
don't say that
shirt.
word.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's a word you can't say in the YouTube streets? I'm sorry. So
No worries.
like, she needs to learn her lesson. Read the room. If you're so afraid, I'm doing air quotes, y'all can't see me now. If you're so afraid of Black Twitter and being called a racist, maybe don't do blackface. Maybe don't do blackface. Maybe that's the real reason why people are coming for you, because you don't get it, Lisa. In those interviews of her past, talking about, oh, you're Black. Are you in a gang? You look like a gang member. She is all kinds of wrong. Okay, that's kind of wrong. Okay, and she was. Do you ever notice how whenever she sits, she kind of sits behind Garcelle a lot, and then Erica sits across from Garcelle a lot, and then Lisa does these eye things and like reactions to Erica, like, oh yeah, you're getting
Yeah,
her.
like they're speaking to
But
each
she
other.
couldn't show the face this time. She was like, oh, we didn't expect her to say that to you. We didn't practice that.
Exactly. You see the tricks, larger curves.
I'm not saying I'm doing this.
You know, the board had said,
this is what I'm saying of it is.
What are you saying?
Every time somebody say something bad about Garcelle, it's not racist.
That's not the issue, though. I
That's
hear
not
that a
the
lot,
issue.
but I feel like that's
what
a
I was
separate
bringing
issue.
up.
That's a season 10 issue. Season 12 now, where Garcelle is, they are trying to gaslight her into a situation she is not going to bend to, and they are trying to get rid of
She's
her
not that girl.
along with
She's
Sutton.
not that girl.
What girl?
She must be, because she's a bully to them all of a sudden.
Lisa, she can't come off as hard as the other girls. You see, just in the same episode, when Garcelle like started speaking up, elevating her voice a little bit, she was called aggressive. But then you have
Mm-hmm.
Rena yelling across the table,
Mm-hmm.
cursing, yelling obscenities, just being super aggressive, and no one even said a word, didn't even utter that
And
word
ghetto.
aggressive. So this has nothing to do with Black people being too sensitive to how
Right.
what is said or to Garcelle or whatever. We're looking at what's happening in the
Mm-hmm.
environment. Garcelle is the only Black woman aside from Cherie now in an all white environment, and they
He
do
was
tend to
biracial.
yeah, well, but she's brown, and she's
Yes.
also like the first to survive more than 2 seasons. She has
Right.
to be
Mm-hmm.
careful in how she governs herself in
Exactly.
that environment, because I hear that a lot, and I'm like, I think people are really like mixing up the issue. That's not what we're tripping about. I'm watching at least how she's moving, and I understand it. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold her
I don't have a
feet to the
problem
fire
with
because she
Garcelle.
doesn't have the fashions, or she doesn't have the money, or she doesn't, twist her neck or get ratchet. I understand what she's doing. She is
Right.
playing the
And I'm gonna
long
say like
game.
Nina said. I'm gonna say like Nina had my sister Nina had said. She does belong on there. She deserves to be on there, and
She
she
sure
needs to
does.
be on there. Okay,
Yeah,
Yep.
and
but she's got to
like
move
I said, I
smart.
believe she needs to be on there. And I mean, I don't think it's no class or nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying though. Don't be going. You can't throw no pop down no food. Only food you got is a cake. That's
See,
not
now
cool.
you sounded like somebody else, Lisa. Like I need you.
Uh-huh.
I need you to speak your
Uh-huh.
own mind. No disrespect.
But that
Somebody
is
wants to
true. That
know.
is
Hold on
true.
one
Hold on,
second, really
hold on,
quick.
hold on. You gotta get this
It's
right.
on tape.
She
You
didn't
can
have no
Google it.
food. She didn't have
The
no
same
food.
way
Only
you
food
can.
she had is that cake, and she had liquor.
Rena didn't have food.
She
Yeah.
sure didn't.
But
Wait,
Tacos
like,
doesn't
are we
count
gonna
as
talk
food.
about
goodness.
that? Like, I mean, I'm like, seriously.
Who
That's
didn't
it.
Tacos
have
Okay,
doesn't
hold
count.
on. Somebody
That's
wants to
it.
know what Rita had said in the comment. So I actually have the comment where
Oh,
she was
great. I'm glad
calling
you
this
have it.
man.
'Cause we
He
Thank
wasn't
posted
you.
black. I believe he was like Hawaiian, but he was a darker complected person, and this is what she had to say.
At first, I thought maybe you were a gang member. Yes, you looked like you just got
But-
out of a car
but-
from South Central and that you might like pop me.
But everybody everybody has tattoos.
No, but you look shady.
Okay, can we get our cash apps out for Mims? Because they not gonna play with you. You should have just played the audio.
TZM. TZM.
I played that. I played that multiple times.
Yes,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
has.
that was, oh, do your copyright thing real fast. Then do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Hurry. Hurry, please.
But yeah, she said that. And I feel like and I also was saying earlier in another live, because I've been in the YouTube streets here all the day, is that I kind of feel like Lisa knew that she had done blackface. And so she was trying to get the heat off of what was coming for her being Donna Summer.
Fair
She's trying
use. Fair
to do
use.
that, right?
I'm listening.
Yep, cover your
She was
cause,
trying
your
to
base.
get that off of her and put it on, get the attention on some comments that may or may not have been said by Kathy Hilton, because she knows she did blackface this season. So preseason, she's like, oh no, Kathy's the racist, but we're seeing you in blackface, lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love, how about a social experiment, you guys? How about for 1 year, 365 days, we all don't call it a microaggression. We call it an aggression. How about that for
Okay.
for 365 days? Because calling it a microaggression, when we know what it is just making it, oh, it's a not so bad for their ears. So that means they want, when I say they, it's obviously black and white thing. That's what I'm saying. So when you allow a microaggression to be called that, instead of just naming it what it is, it's aggressive, that was racist tendencies, you were being too off-colored in what you were just saying, they will not autocorrect if we keep giving them passes and saying, oh, they didn't understand it, oh, this. No, call it what it is for 365 days and see the changes that we have in interactions with people. Because if they're called on everything without making it, oh, fairy dust, then maybe they'll stop, or at least they'll hold it in till an appropriate time when none of us are around. What do you think?
That's I mean, I'm fine with that.
Me too.
Thank you so much, Fifi, for the super set. She says, thanks, Mims. No, thank you. I appreciate it. And this is interesting, and we'll close out with this because we've been on here for a while, and I got to eat. I'm on a
I was
diet.
like, here you go. He talking about you hungry like a girl.
Mims, Brendan has one thing to say. Can he say it?
Sure. One second, though. Adrian Gakon, I hope I pronounced that right. She's the one that asked about what Rena had said. She says, OMG, I live in a small conservative Midwest town and I've never seen racism like there seems to be in Beverly Hills. Wow, just wow. If anything, it's good that we have these type of conversations on this channel because you really never know who's watching. And the fact that Adrian is being, so upfront,
Right.
and has actually heard some of the things that you ladies and gentlemen have said, I love that. I love the fact that the reach can get to small conservative towns where she may not know or have seen microaggression. So I think that's really dope. What was Brendan gonna say?
Here, Bren.
First of all, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I joined late.
I thought you had something to say.
I do.
Well, say it. He's great gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
You rushing him, Corey.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Take your time.
First of all, what's going on?
Talking about last night's show.
Oh, last night's show? Ooh, that was a doozy. I've never heard a kid speak back at any parent before, other than me.
Then you got slapped, right?
Eh.
So what you're telling us is Corey's not as tough as she makes herself seem.
No, I slapped him.
And
In front of the principal. I slapped him. But go ahead.
Yeah, still. Even then, she's not that tough.
Oh, you gotta go.
I believe you, Brendan.
You gotta go there.
You.
You gotta go.
But guys, this was a really hot show. I enjoyed it. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for all the super chats. I appreciate it. Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
still trying to talk to you on IG. We got to make plans Saturday when I can talk to you on IG.
This weekend is not good for me, but hit me up on IG, Lisa.
I know, but I'm talking about video.
We can have a Lisa, I know you at this point. So yes, we can have a face-to-face Instagram conversation.
Okay.
Just
and also, Curse, someone to have one with you too. Are you on IG?
No, you too?
She wants to curse you out.
Well, you want to cuss me out? What?
No.
I gotta eat, y'all. Okay, thank you so much for being here.
I'm sorry about the whole thing. I was trying to get on.
Yeah, at Larger Curves, one word.
Larger,
Okay,
I saw your
Larger
passion
Curves,
when you were defending Garcelle, and you got a new subscriber.
Oh, no way. Oh, my God. I appreciate y'all.
I was like, that's right. Stick up for the melanin.
Yeah, Larger.
Proud.
Larger is LRGA Curves on YouTube. She did an interview with Dr. Heavenly.
And that's
she's still OG for moderating for her. Corey.
She did Winter. She did an interview for Winter too.
And she did
I gotta go back and watch
Winter.
I did say, Curves, you did do a good job.
Thank you.
I did watch it, like I said I was.
But you still don't like
it. And I put the
Y'all,
like
I got to close out. This love fest.
I'm still struggling.
I love you, man.
Bye. Cocktails with Lovable Lisa has a channel.
Bye. Join us on Lola Lane.
Hold on, Corey. Corey has a channel with Lola Lane. It's at Lola Lane on YouTube. Definitely subscribe to all of these beautiful ladies. Oh, we're closing out with my song.
Yeah, I love it.
All right,
Going live now.
I'm twerking there. I'm twerking there. I'm twerking. I'm making a twerk. Twerking. Pop it. Hi. Big Daddy Mims. Big Daddy Mims.
Chloe, are y'all finna go live now?
No, not tonight. I think we're gonna do Saturday.
Okay.
Twerking. Pop it.